Okay, I'm just gonna try going live. Alright, we're going live. Testing. Testing. If you guys can hear us going live, let us know in the chat.
There it is. We're here.
We're here?
I can see it on my end.
Really? Okay, hold on. Let me pull it
Yeah.
back up on my phone. I have to get
No,
back
I'm
in.
lying.
Why
Yeah,
did you
yeah, of course you don't.
lie? He's
No,
a
I'm not lying.
liar!
I was lying when I said I was lying. That's it. Grabs you, throws you against the cafe wall, but you go further and land in the bank next door.
As I get picked up from the wall, I pick myself up, I shake my head, and I go, "Oh, my head feels a bit funny." Oh,
Don't mess around again, Darnell. We gotta do a good stream for the people.
right. Hello, chums. Welcome back to WriterBot 2022. We're going to be looking at some drafts you sent in.
Darnell, actually, it's WriterBotFestFestivalCelebrationCon2022. Don't forget, okay?
Oh, right. Sorry, I'm a right bloke. I am. Bloody hell. Don't know any. I don't know much British slang.
We never mentioned anything about you doing slang. You came with this slang idea yourself.
It's not
I'm
a
just
good
doing an
idea.
accent.
Right, just an accent. Right then, welcome to WriterBot Festival Celebration Con 2022, where we look at the drafts you all sent in and give some critique. Now, you can see here is our master list. From top to bottom is the order they were submitted. There are 14 drafts in total. We're not reading both versions of Thanksgiving for Avocado Toast. We're going to pick one. We're going to try and get through them in order of submission as quickly as possible. We want to hit everyone, but if we don't, we are very, very sorry. And you must forgive
You apologize.
us. Simply must forgive us. The crowd will compensate you, I'm sure.
They won't.
They will never compensate.
Darnell, what is this document? I don't have access to this. Can you send it over to me, please?
Frick, yes. I was going to offer to stream it to you, but
why are you
my
talking
CPU...
so weird?
I was going to offer to stream it to you, but then I remember my CPU's so hard for some reason today. I don't know why OBS is taking up my CPU. But anyway, here's the Writerbot link, even though I have it pinned in our DMs, so you could have just clicked the pins. You should be able to get to it now.
Sorry, I forgot about that.
So, right, so I'm going to choose Thanksgiving 2, I think.
Darnell, where's Crowcat's draft?
What do you mean?
Where is it?
Should be in here.
I can't see it.
You gotta be... Do you have it?
What? I don't have it. Let me get it. Hold on.
Where did you...
Hold on,
did Crowcat
Crowcats.
submit a draft? I don't see anything in the chat about it.
I'm running through the corridors to go get it.
Did he say... Did he say anything? I don't see... Tan, did he submit a draft? I don't see anything.
I'm looking for it now.
Did he say anything? I didn't hear him say anything.
Here's my draft. It's basically ready for WriterBotCon. I've got it.
From Crow.
Jacking it in. Jacking it now.
Huh?
There. We have it.
What's Crowcat's at? Is it? I can't find him on.
I've already done it. I've got it. It's there.
Well, what order should it be in?
I'll put it at the end. Sorry.
It's basically... Oh, I see why I got confused. It's because everyone turned their draft in at the fucking last second yesterday, so there were like 5 of them, and I missed it in the haze.
Come on, Darnell.
Alright, it should be before Agi and Real Surreal Sirs.
Okay, give me a second.
Wait, where's Agi's? I put Agi's in here!
Than you are.
Wait, I actually put Agi's in here. What the fuck? Oh my god,
well,
okay.
Where is it then?
So before Real Surreal Sir is...
Sorry, guys. Hang in there, okay? You missed Cole's draft, too! What the hell, Darnell?
I didn't miss Cole's. Did I?
God. Where is it, then?
Well, I kept asking you to add stuff, and then you didn't, so...
Yeah, but I didn't want it.
Oh my god. Alright, Cole, where was your draft again? I'm sorry. From user. Yes, Cole 13. Nothing.
Sorry, I have to see this, guys. Anyway, how have you all been? Probably not the best question right now, but I've been celebrating the Jubilee because I love the crown. I can't even pretend.
Yeah, what's going on with the? Is it because I chimed
Always
in because
it
it
go
came.
to the thing. It's bullshit.
It chimed in. I chimed in because I saw it on Twitter. But like, why are people talking about Royals all of a sudden? Cole, can
It's
you
the
relink
Queen's
your
Jubilee.
draft in the writer chat? I can't find it.
Lamb, I'm reading this chat.
Yeah, we gotta
Don't
get
you dare
moving.
say that about me again, okay?
We gotta get moving either way. So you relink it in writer chat and ping me, and I'll put it in. I'm sorry. I tried to get everyone, but a lot of people pinged me when I was at work and like swamped with cases, and I was like, "Tan, can you get this?" And then he never answered the ping, so I was like, "I'll try to remember."
Sorry, I forgot to answer it. Well,
It's fine. Also, what happened to Avocado Toast's link?
I don't know.
This is a mess. We're professional, guys. Okay.
I never said I was. I was at the top. There it is. What
No.
the hell happened to it?
Well, whatever. I got to it. Okay. All right. Are you on the screen, Tan?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's not Thanksgiving Tung 2.
Quaker Button Nose says it's the Queen's 70th anniversary of being Queen today, so everyone's sitting outside and getting drunk to celebrate. I hate the Queen, dude. Who the fuck cares about royals? I hate them. Tan, you guys should just overthrow your monarchy.
Tried.
What happened?
The incident.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna start doing the accent now.
Yes. Okay, here we go. Sorry, I'm too distracted because everyone keeps saying we forgot things.
Okay,
if we forgot
forget
an
it,
article,
forget
put it
it.
in the writer. Put it in the writer and ping me. Okay. Special item number XXXX. Level 3 confidential. Containment class esoteric. Secondary class Das Alien. Disruption class.
What the hell is Das Alien? This is new. This is new, right?
This is Pog. Yeah. Risk class warning. All right, Tan, you want to start us off?
Absolutely. Special containment procedures. Those affected by the SCP phenomenon are to be monitored on American Thanksgiving. I would maybe just have the date there rather than American Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then maybe a footnote or something that says American Thanksgiving.
Well, actually, no. No, they're actually right on this, Tan, because Thanksgiving changes every year. It's not a specific date.
Well, okay, I didn't know that.
It's the third Thursday of every November.
Can't even do holidays, right, huh? Should any Foundation personnel meet the requirements to be affected by the SCP, I would capitalize Foundation there.
Wrong
Their
there,
actions, wrong there, yeah, I was going to mention as well.
Yes.
Their actions between that period of time are to be logged. That's weird. I'm not sure about that wording. Their actions between that period of time are to be logged.
So I have a
Specifically
guess.
between that period of time. I would say within that period of time.
Ooh. I have a guess, Tan Honey, before we continue. That
Okay.
this phenomenon, because it's about American Thanksgiving, is going to be something like as soon as American Thanksgiving hits, people pretend it's Christmas or something. That's my guess, locking it in.
Okay. That's brave lock in there. Description. The SCP is a phenomenon that affects those with B blood type on American Thanksgiving. During this phenomenon, various attempts will be made in order to ruin the affected person's Thanksgiving.
No!
By whom? This includes using other individuals, using fauna and flora, and using inanimate objects. I would maybe not have using before, but maybe this includes other individuals, fauna and flora,
And objects.
Yeah, I'll get to the end of this and then give my idea on that sensor. And inanimate objects to prevent the subject from celebrating.
Basically,
So
just
I
use
maybe
the word
rephrase that.
using once and then put commas between all the things. So this includes using other individuals, comma, fauna.
And instead of maybe or.
Yeah.
To prevent the subject from celebrating. Addendum 2. Log of SCP Phenomenon. The following is a log of SCP phenomena affecting Foundation personnel. All future events are to be logged. Personnel affected. Dr. Azra Hollis. Phenomenon. I was arrested for buying chocolate. Comments from staff. It wasn't even that good.
Damn.
Dr. Lee Esquivel.
That's a
You
cool
see, I wanted to go to work, but I was horrified to figure out that my car door was stuck. Comments from staff. I was inside.
What? Hold on. Okay, I'm a little lost. What is this format?
Yeah, I don't know. I quite like it, but I don't understand it.
It's really funny, and I'm not laughing at it like in a mean what the fuck way. I'm laughing at it like it's legit like funny. I'm enjoying this.
Dr. Charles Winter. I fell down the stairs. I should have taken the elevator. Dr. Lucy Ferguson.
Oh, and that links to an SCP.
I died. Please see the memo attached. I'm starting to realise maybe it's not a separate person who's like comments on it, like the fucking nostalgia critic.
Yeah, I think it's just weird because it's the personnel are all Foundation, but then other Foundation staff are commenting on it. This is fucked up.
But Vivek Swift. My turkey walked away. It was cooked. Dr. Aries Grant. These people have got fucking badass names.
I love. Yeah, these are like the best names I've ever heard. Where are you when I'm running tabletop
jumped
games?
into the oven when I was cooking. Rest in peace, Rhubarb. 2009 to 2019.
No.
Dr. Avery Cato.
Cardo flew out the sky and hit my face.
I prefer guacamole anyway.
This is so much more funny if you imagine every phenomenon and staff comment as like the Virgin and the Chad.
Yeah.
Two perspectives.
Maya Sanchez. Uh-oh. Quinnen son ustedes.
¿Quiénes son ustedes?
Sal de mi propiedad, idiotas.
Oh, Lord. Sal de mi propiedad, idiotas.
Dr. Bridge Pumice.
Hummus.
The Queen and President drank tea on the roof of my car. She had a beard.
God, please shave the Queen.
That's pretty
horrifying.
Good. That's actually pretty good because it's like God save the Queen. I would remove the please and just make it God shave the Queen.
0513. Someone broke my pact with death and killed me. I also went to the movies with 051.
So true.
Oswald Herter.
American bitch. Who is this guy?
I don't know.
Why is that the only one that signs?
I'm starting to realise what I think I misunderstood. Like, this is the commentary staff are from the person it happened to. It's just like their little commentary after the fact. It's not a separate guy. Like,
that's not. But what about Dr. Zinn?
Well, that's the only exception, I imagine.
Oh, this is alright. So this SCP, I'll be real, I don't understand it. And we made a couple of spag corrections that you should look at. I think as just an article on its own, I think it needs to be a little more clear what is going on, even if you go as far as like explaining in the addendum with a line or two what each of these is. Like the comments from staff are from the same party that was affected or whatever. I don't know, but it's a little bizarre. It's disorganized. It's nice and short, which I like. I'm gonna rate this one a good because it was really funny. I don't even know what was going on, but I enjoyed it. But I would say get your spag errors in order, get it a little more sorted out, and then I think this would make like a really good like short comedy SCP, in my opinion.
Yeah, just give it some spag.
What are you thinking, Tan?
I liked it as well. I would say it was good.
Yeah. Good banger to start off with. That was really good. Guari be like, this is pretty funny, but it should be a -J. Shut the fuck up, Guari. Although Quaker says, this does have the undefinable -J energy. Shut the frick up, Quaker. It was...
Hey, these are our fans. Calm down.
King T-Rex says, what drugs were in that breakfast muffin I ate today? None.
Who eats breakfast?
Lion says this feels like Rick and Morty.
I've watched like 10 minutes of Rick and Morty.
Yeah, that's about all you need. Alright, so our next draft is from Quaker! Actually, Quaker linked it wrong. I don't have access to the file.
Quaker, you linked your thing wrong. We can't get in.
Also, that just showed my personal email on stream, which kind of pissed me off a little bit.
Yeah.
The fuck,
fucking ice, Quaker.
I should have been testing these links. Fucking Quaker. Please don't spam my personal email. I'm gonna see if there's a way to edit that out in the VOD, because that's the worst. Let me time.
These people in the chat saying old system, we're never doing the old system again. We've only just escaped. Fuck you.
14 minutes blur, so I remember to go back and get that later. Freaking Quaker.
You need to go to share Quaker and then copy link and then give us access.
No. What you need to do is you need to change it to everyone with this link can view the document, and then give us that link. So next up is Western Quaker. As soon as you get that fixed, ping us. And okay, Quaker, look. look what I'm doing. See how it says anyone with the link? I don't want to open it because it's going to show my real email. Just go to share, and then there'll be a link, and then it'll be like, there'll be an option somewhere. Just click around, and it'll be like, anyone with this link can view, and then link us after.
You also can't see that on the banker poll. We're not going back to the old system. We're never going back to this the fucking random number generator that was the old system.
But you can just Google...
Why is it not telling me that I will die one day? I know. I think about it every night.
You can Google how to change a Google Doc link so everyone can see it. And as soon as you get that fixed, ping us in the WriterBot chat. I'm going to move on to Western's SCP. And also, real quick, Cole pinged me with his as well. So I'm going to add Cole's to the WriterBot.
Hell yeah, everyone is here. Stop telling me I'm going to die one day. They're fucking bullying me.
These guys love bullying Tan Honey. This is a very small SCP. Oh no, it's actually, I see. There's like, okay. So this is called Look at This
the
Scoundrel.
old trick.
2, list all. Tags, Foundation, Site 950. From Veronica Stanimir, confirmed level 4 clearance. RE,
yes,
Incident
confirmed.
Nocturnal. Urgency, low. I'm not so much disappointed at the incidents that took place several days ago. Mainly, I'm just embarrassed. Attached files. And then she says, on September 27th, we will be holding a meeting with all members of Foundation staff stationed at Site 950 in regards to the events transpired during Incident Nocturnal and what to do moving forward. And then there's 2 links here. So one is Scallywag 1, the other is Scallywag 2. So let's look at Scallywag 1 first.
Absolutely.
Okay. Look at this scoundrel, Offset 1. All right, are you ready to read this?
Hell yeah. Should I initiate?
Yes.
Item number... Well, warning first. The file is currently outdated. I guess we don't have to read it then. A new file is being revised. We'll replace this file as soon as it is ready. Please see CCTV-S950-3617378824.mpreg for more information. Excuse me?
Did you say MPreg instead of MPEG?
No.
You did! You said MPreg. Everybody point and laugh at Tan Honey. He loves male impregnation. That's crazy. Alright, keep reading.
Item number SCP-6778. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedure. It's getting fucking worse. SCP-6778's current location is unknown. Once the SCP has been tracked and detained, it's been contained in a small, mimetic humanoid class containment chamber. It's a very specific, standardized containment chamber.
Yeah, I've never seen something like that before. Is that like a newer style, or is this like a unique one?
I've seen like a standard humanoid containment chamber, but I've not seen like a small, mimetic humanoid class containment chamber. That's very specific.
I kind of like it, personally. It's like
how many small mimetic humanoid classes do we have?
Well, here's why. Because here's why. Now, if this was early SCP, if this was 10 years ago, over a third of your life ago, I'd agree. But with how many SCPs there are and how many keep being made, there's such a large number that I think you could have generalized chambers like this. And I think it's like a nutritional chart that lets you not have to think about your SCPs.
It's like, at that point, why even have the containment procedures?
I agree. No one likes them. No one wants them. Very few people use them well. We should just get rid of them.
I'm the biggest proponent for not liking writing them, but I feel like they serve an important function, usually.
Well, okay.
It's the build-up.
Okay.
He's like, oh, what could need these weird containment procedures? And then you'll find out.
To be fair, though, remember, this is outdated. It might be more specific. It might be more specific in the second version.
So it's going to be a big mimetic humanoid.
So for now, you have 2 different opinions, Western. I kind of like it. Tan Honey thinks it's kind of like a heresy on the format, which is a fair take.
I never said that. I just thought it was funny.
Oh. Well, okay. Then take that as you will, but continue, Tan.
Absolutely. Description. SCP-67878 is a small multicolored sock monkey, approximately 0.3 meters in height. It is fully animate and appears to display a moderate form of sentience, much like Darnell. Additionally, it possesses a mid-level cognition alteration effect, compelling all that perceive it to treat it as if it were a very small and cute animal, much like Tanhoney. Affected subjects will pay very... Come on, guys, aren't I adorable? No,
we need one of these, but for like the crochet versions Wendigo's been making of the Aetheral Space characters.
Yeah. Affected subjects will pay very close attention to the SCP in every action it performs, poring over anything the subject considers cute. The judgmental abilities of said subjects are drastically lower in the context of the SCP, making them perform actions they would not normally do in an attempt to please it.
That's interesting. So far,
Incident.
I'll be real, I actually kind of like that description. And
Yeah, that's pretty good.
normally, Incident Nocturnal would be addendum. I'm sure someone would yell at you for that, but I kind of like that it's not. I'm so used to, and I'm not shitting on addendums. I know it's like a very.
I feel like formatting-wise, I could give less of a shit once we get past the description how you lay it out.
Exactly, that's how I feel, and it's kind of refreshing to see something that's not just an addendum with like the the quote box where it's just. I like that it's just another section of the article. Very good. And that's all I had to say. Sorry, continue.
Incident Nocturnal. On September 20th, 2011, the SCP was discovered near the entrance of Site 950. It is to be noted that since the site specialized in physical and straightforward anomalies and threats, almost none of the staff present had sufficient cognitohazardous inoculation to resist its effect. As such, multiple staff members had...
Oh, looks like my friend's got something going on in the IRL. I'll wait till he gets back so we can rate it together, properly crit it. So, by the way, we'll do our best to keep our eyes on the chat, but between SCPs, this is also, the stream's like an opportunity if you want to communicate with us. If you have any questions for us or things you want to chat about...
actually, you're not allowed to address me directly, please.
You can address me, and I will forward it to...
Please don't look at me when you're addressing me.
Please don't...
I'll allow you to speak to me, but I will allow you to look at me.
Alright, continue. You were at, as such, I believe.
None of the staff present had, as such, multiple staff members had noticed the SCP outside the door of the site and subsequently succumbed to said effects. Witnesses claim that the SCP was just a sad little thing that looked so terribly cold.
No.
Footnote here. It should be noted it was 31 degrees Celsius outside at the time.
What's that in real people units?
Doesn't pay.
What's 31
The SCP was brought in...
Is that like hot?
It's pretty warm.
Okay.
The SCP was brought into the site and given a small quilted blanket and a cup of hot chocolate, which the entity proceeded to pour on its head.
Okay, so it like actually does move and do shit.
Yeah, it does shit, I guess. It was animate, yeah. Several minutes after this took place, multiple witnesses who were not currently affected by the SCP heard a loud crash within the microbial research and related developments lab on the second floor. Upon entering, it was discovered that the window had been broken, the cause being a brick that was on the floor near the window.
Hello?
Sorry about that.
There he is. Welcome back.
Nothing else of importance could be discovered before the investigating researchers got affected by the SCP, who was being carried by a large crowd of people that had travelled to the second floor in order to show everybody how gosh darn adorable this little dude is.
Aww.
Site 950's fascination with the SCP lasted for several hours before co-director Helen Gilroy, one of few people stationed at the site with sufficient cognitohazardous inoculation, returned to the site from a small trip. Upon noticing the situation, she notified Mobile Task Force 761 sheep wranglers to capture the SCP and subdue the affected site personnel. However, when the task force arrived at the site, the SCP had disappeared from the site. I would probably just say disappeared full stop there.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Witnesses at the time claimed that the tiny little guy wanted to play peekaboo with us and he just vanished when we put our hands down, like the little rascal he is. After the incident, it was discovered that multiple medium-low value items stored within the site were missing. These items have not been rediscovered since the incident. A full list of missing items
I would just say,
filed,
I would personally just say it was discovered that several valuable items were stored within the site were missing, because like multiple medium low value items is like very oddly specific. You know what I mean? Or is medium low an SCP thing that I don't know about because I'm an idiot?
No. Well, it's not like a strict... All site personnel have been accounted for after the incident, and a comprehensive memetic and cognitohazardous inoculation project is planned to take place at the site soon. I have a concern.
What? What's your concern?
I feel like we're going to get to the second one, and it's going to be like, oh, he's not a silly monkey, he's actually the really scary thing, and I feel like I've read that sort of narrative like 50 times already.
That's fair, but I think we should give our writer the benefit of the doubt.
I'm not going to say that, but if it is that, I am going to be a little bit...
Yeah, because that's basically that the bear with the scissors.
It's a very exhaustive narrative, I would say.
Fair. And you guys know I'm number one component of you can do something in a new way, but if that is the case and it's not done in a new way, I can see why Tan would get frustrated. And you won't like him when he's frustrated and without tea. Trust me. An angry British person, do you know what they'll do?
Where the hell is my tea?
Where the hell is the Queen?
What did you do to her?
Land said Teddy Bear SCP counter 1. Quaker Button says the Foundation loves being specific. Yeah, but I don't know if they'd be medium-low specific. You know what I mean? Alright, let's keep reading, shall we? Do you want me to take over?
Yeah, can I popcorn too? Yeah.
Absolutely. Do you see that? That was us on the same wavelength. I could sense you getting tired because I'm an empath.
Wow.
Look at this scoundrel, Offset 2.
Well, I'm saying Tan hates SCP writers like that's like a troll in the comments, but it's true.
Yeah. There's nothing SCP writers hate more than actually reading. Warning. The following file has recently been lowered from level 4 clearance required to level 2 clearance required. And just to be sure, lower level means it's like more advanced, right?
What?
Like it's level 4. Okay, so it's actually lower clearance now.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's easier to go see it. Okay. Well, I don't know. You know, sometimes level 1's like the top level. I didn't remember.
Yeah, but it says lower.
Alright, well, how about die? Footage type. Official SCP Foundation CCTV footage. Location, Site 950. The following footage takes place over the course of several hours and utilizes CCTV footage from multiple points within Site 950. A change in CCTV camera will be noted each time it occurs. Microbial Research and Related Developments Lab, CCTV. 10 minutes and 57 seconds after 6778 is initially discovered near the entrance to Site 950, a second multicolored sock monkey, several times larger than 6778, you were right, big containment, is seen entering the lab through a window in the Microbial Research and Related Developments Lab. In comparison to 6778, it possesses a larger belly, a larger head, and longer arms and legs, which are approximately 70 centimeters in length.
Oh, yes.
It is seen wearing a small balaclava. Oh, wait, so the other one's the distracting, and this is the robber. Wait, this is actually paste. It is seen wearing a small balaclava covering everything except its eyes. It is also wearing a small paper cutout mustache, which is taped on the outside of the entity's balaclava. It is carrying a large empty cloth sack with a large green money symbol emblazoned on its side, which it holds by taping it to its left hand with duct tape. Dollar symbol, by the way, sorry. The entity is hereafter referred to as 6778-1. That sentence was like a little... I would have... I don't know. Because you don't want to run on sentence, but it felt like too many sentences of it has, it is... You know what I mean? Am I crazy?
Right.
Upon entering the building, 6778-1 appears to survey its surroundings for several seconds before wandering the room, occasionally picking up small items to gain a closer look. Footnote, 6778-1 picks up items by coiling its entire arm around the object. Very cute. 6778-1 hears several site personnel approaching the room to investigate the sound of the broken window. This causes -1 to open a filing cabinet and forcefully shove itself inside. Junior researcher Bradford opens the door to inspect the source of the noise, but does not discover -1. Before he can investigate further, a small group of people surrounding 6778 pass through the hallway behind him. He succumbs to its compulsion effect and follows the rest of the group. Several seconds pass, and -1 exits the filing cabinet, proceeding to take as many small items as it can and placing them into its cloth sack. -1 takes... That fucking number is tripping me up for some reason. -1 takes the following items: 3 pens, 12 pencils, 2 pencil sharpeners, Dr. Anna's personal journal, 1 snow globe, 1 box of cotton swabs, researcher Jerry's car keys. I don't know if I'd call these medium to low value items. These are just like everyday items.
Hey, you seen my car?
After this, it leaves the room into the hallway. So real quick, by the way, is this already a published SCP? Because I noticed you have a number for it, and I hope that number hasn't been taken on you.
Yeah.
Just
well, I imagine... I imagine that it's something that could be changed very easily if it did end up being taken.
Alright. Junior researcher... Oh, no. Oops. Floor 2, hallway number 6, CCTV. -1 slowly walks through the hallway, attempting to not be detected by any on-site personnel. Dash 1 notably does not attempt to enter any room with a closed door. It is presumed this is because Dash 1 is not physically strong enough to open doors. It eventually finds the entrance to junior researcher Kathy's office, which was slightly open at the time. Dash 1 squeezes through and enters the office. Junior researcher Kathy's office CCTV. Dash 1 wanders the room in search of items it deems valuable. It grabs several and places them into its bag over the course of several minutes before noticing Kathy's desk. It climbs onto Kathy's chair and then directly onto the desk, where it notices Kathy's purse. It begins to search the purse. I would just make that Kathy's purse, comma, which it begins to search or something. I don't know. Very small, minor stuff. It's not like grammar errors or anything.
Yeah.
After taking out Kathy's smartphone, wallet, car keys, picture of her wife and chapstick, it notices a small plastic button that
No, not the picture of a wife and a chapstick.
Of Kathy's button-up sweater vest. 6778 appears to be very... Oh, wait, shouldn't this be Dash 1? You want to put a Dash 1 there, buddy. Are you there, Western? Keep that in mind. Appears to be very... Yes, keep that in mind. You want to put a Dash 1. Appears to be very intrigued by this item and frantically attempts to place it into the bag, but cannot due to its small size. After several minutes of attempting to pick it up with one arm, Dash 1 grabs the purse and hangs it upside down over the cloth sack, dumping all of its contents into it, including the button! The following items were taken by Dash 1. 3 pencils, 1 Fantasy Creatures and Mystical Lands coloring book, that's adorable, 37 colored pencils of various colors, 1 small ball of lint, 2 empty soda cans, 1 half-empty soda can, the contents of junior researcher Kathy's purse, with the exception of smartphone, wallet, car keys, picture of her wife, chapstick, and actual purse. I will say it's very odd that they specified a ball of lint, but just jumbled up all the contents of the purse. But that's a very minor complaint. That's, I guess, stylistic.
Allow it.
Yeah. I would personally remove the lint and then just, put a couple more contents and end it there. Dash 1 then immediately exits the room into the hallway. Floor 2, hallway number 6 CCTV. Dash 1 runs through the hallway back towards where it came. However, it notices 2 site personnel on the other end of the hallway, who are junior researchers Janet and Gus. Gus appears to be carrying a small cake that was purchased from a nearby grocery store. Before they notice 6778-1, it quickly rips off the grating of a nearby vent and climbs inside.
Jesus. Doesn't that take a bit of strength?
I don't know. This is the last time Dash 1 is seen for several hours. Floor 1 staff break room CCTV. That is actually a good point. You mentioned it has very low strength, but it can rip off the grating of a vent. I would just say, rather than rip off the grating of a vent, just say that it finds a vent that was left loose and opens it. Or just say it crawls out a window or something. Floor 1 staff break room CCTV. No, it doesn't have fine motor dexterity, never mind. 6778 is seen in a baby carriage in the middle of the first floor break room, surrounded by a group of site personnel, all of whom are carrying various toys and food in an attempt to please 6778, which is looking back and forth through the room. Junior researcher Alfred speaks up. Can you be Alfred?
Hey guys, listen. I know I'll cheer the baby boy up. Let's play peekaboo. My kids love playing that.
I don't see why he wouldn't.
Oh my god. Its close-up tan does sound like a different person.
Real voice.
Wait, what the fuck? Cole? What is Cole talking about right now in the chat?
I read the song lyrics, Cole. No.
All the personnel agree to this and put down any object that they were holding at the time. That just, baffled me. I just chimed in on that. And cover their faces with their hands. Each personnel repeatedly asks 6778, "Where am I?" and other variations of the question before all simultaneously putting their hands down and yelling, "Peekaboo!" Fool. That should be peak.
They did that to me when I was a baby. I would be so pissed off and annoyed.
You made it peak like a mountain peak. It should be peak like P-E-E-K. Especially since that's how you spell it.
They're not climbing a mountain, are they? Come on.
Jokes aside, though, this article has a very minor number of spaggers, and otherwise, it's really good. It's basically almost ready for posting, in my opinion. On their 11th round of Peekaboo... you did it again, you fool!
Oh, Good Day says, he's quoting the homophobic dog, "Oh, how could I miss it?" The famous Homophobic dog.
dog. That is a popular meme.
I don't know what the fuck the homophobic dog is.
It's a picture of like a weird fat Dachshund with
Oh,
like
actually,
a glass
I
of
think
wine.
I've seen
and
the
it
dog,
says-
but I've not seen
yeah.
it be homophobic.
Yeah, well, the original caption is it goes, "Not too fond of gay people," and it's like looking at the camera, but the joke is like it's a dog owned by a gay couple, and they're posting the images for funsies. Okay, so one thing I noticed, aside from spelling peak wrong, is the first time you used peekaboo, you didn't capitalize it, but every time after you capitalize, like, the first letter of each dash. I would choose one or the other. After you correct the peak spelling, I would either have it all capitalized every time, or do it non-capitalized each time, so it's consistent. 6778 notices the sound of a nearby vent grate being removed, revealing -1 in said vent. The SCP waits until all the site personnel's hands are covering their faces before exiting the baby carriage and making its way towards the vent with 6778. That one should be -1, I believe, since it's 778 making its way to -1. Once it enters the vent, both it and -1 are never seen again. Incident Nocturnal Update.
I don't know if I would phrase it like that. If they're never seen again, well, can we see the future? How do we know?
Yeah.
Maybe they'll turn up again.
Once it enters the vent, both it and the SCP leave the site or something. Or even just remove that last line, honestly. It's not necessary. Incident Nocturnal Update. Researcher Jerry's 2010 Toyota Venza was found 57 kilometers from Site 950, which was found in an off... I would just get rid of the comma and get rid of which was found, and then just put... was found 57 kilometers from Site 950 in an off-road ditch. It is theorized that 6778 and -1 used the vehicle... See, this is weird because you should put the whole thing, because that's how you've been doing it the whole time, so do SCP-6778-1
We've got spontaneous on-stream Corgo art.
Yeah.
They've just been
Used...
sent to me on Twitter.
What the frick? I don't have time to
Share
check
this-
Twitter. Put it in our DMs.
I'll send it to you. That's what I just about to say. If you calm the fuck down.
Use the vehicle as a means to escape Site 950's premises quickly. It is unknown how the entities effectively operated the vehicle for a long period of time. So I will say, and by the way, the inbox is the original is so much funnier after you know the story. This is an amazing skip. It's definitely good on my rating system. I really like what you did with it. It's funny, it's creative, it's
I'm very happy with it as well. You didn't go this very much didn't go where I think it was going.
My only thing is there was some spag errors, and I noticed it felt like towards the last little bit, the spag errors got really bad. I don't know if like that was just the last bit you finished and you hadn't gotten that critted yet, but I would go over that with a fine-tooth comb. If you're here and you were listening, correcting along, awesome. If you weren't and you're having trouble, just read the whole thing aloud to yourself, and you'll probably spot those errors and fix them on your own. But yeah, it was really just some spag errors here and there, a couple of awkward sentence structure, but like very good, very good. And it's rated good. I'm just saying very good as a descriptor of it outside the rating tan. So
Just
don't
be
lose it
careful.
on me.
That very good better not be capital V, capital G.
It's not. So chill. Oh, that's cute. I love the sock.
Show it.
Art.
Show it on the stream. Drag it on
I
screen.
don't. Let me see if I can.
You can't.
I did it. There, you guys can all see it. It's on the stream now. Yay, sock monkey! So shout out to Western. That was really good. Is it showing up? I'm checking my phone to see if it pops up.
Monkey.
I'm just gonna assume it popped up.
It's
So
here.
I don't waste too much time. All right. So then, I believe Quaker gave us a working link now. So let me
yes.
pull that up. Oh, Quaker.
Quaker.
Quaker. Button nose.
Quaker, come on. Give us a real link. I've got it up now.
Here we go. Quaker. Oh wow, this is. Ignore this. It's for a collab log you haven't read.
Why is it in here then?
What the fuck? Also, this is very surreal that you don't have it on like a wiki dot, but you have all the
But you still
formatting done.
have
It's honestly kind of based. What the fuck? Okay, give me 1 second. I'm just gonna take a second to check.
I did
chat
this a
real quick
couple of
before
times
we-
too. I like had a couple of times I've written SCPs at work and I'll just do it in Google Docs. But I've been here for so long I can just do all the fucking formatting.
All right, I'm gonna read a couple comments real quick before we do this next one, just to see how chat's feeling. Hamilton says, "What an awful, no good thumbnail." Banger Paul says, "Darnell, you'll get banned from Twitter for that." I have no clue what he's talking about. King T-Rex says, "I'm barely paying attention to the article." Rip. Quaker Button knows. You thought the monkey was silly and cute? No, it's silly and evil. Good Day says, this is the greatest thing I've ever read. You should read more. Orchid Stream says, gays! Cole 13 says, you will not see God's pearly gates. Cole, what the fuck? Quaker Button knows recommended. I would say, with the exception of previously removed items in the actual purse. That's a good one. Quaker Button. Wait, no. Good. Everyone's just telling Tan he doesn't know about the homophobic dog meme. Cole 13 says so many rounds of peekaboo. Blah 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 blah. The rest doesn't matter. Okay, you ready?
You don't matter. Sorry, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Tan, why don't you read this one? I'm tired.
Okay. Well, I'll read it fully. Module rate. Item number. SCP-XXXX.
Wait, I didn't realize those were your noises for the carrots? This is the
Yeah. The carrots?
Isn't that what they're called? Carrots?
Carrot? What are you talking about?
What do you call them?
Ask Tan what the arrows.
No, they're called carrots.
Are they?
Look up arrow symbol on
Ask Tan
keyboard
what
name.
the inspiration for Jean's parents were. I don't know if I had like a specific inspiration.
I will say, Tanhoney, I feel like you had a very clear idea of like you wanted like birth and genes to be a very important part of the story, and I'm wondering if there wasn't something you read that got you thinking about that.
Probably.
I wonder. I'm trying to think of any anime you would have been watching around that time that would have been like that, because that's that would be my most likely guess. Is Hunter x Hunter birth based?
No.
Oh, because otherwise the power system's very, very Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, keep reading, reader boy.
Absolutely. Object class uselet. Special containment procedures. SCP-XXXX is currently being held at Sapient Containment Area 05. It's to be housed in a humanoid containment cell measuring 250 centimeters from floor to ceiling. The SCP has been granted Grade B humanoid amenity privileges, but is not permitted access to an entertainment media featuring
the Tree
Man.
This feels like one of those things where it's like written in such a way that fuck you, you're not ever supposed to figure out what it is. But I kind of like it a little bit just because it's like so short. Also, Tan,
no, it's not that obscure. There's a humanoid thing that's not allowed to watch TV about the Tree Man.
What's the Tree Man, though? This implies that
I see we're going to find out.
Tree Man. So real quick, Tan, I was wrong. Carrots are the arrows that point upwards, not the sideways ones. So, do you see this one right before ignore? That's a carrot, but not those ones with the module. I don't know what those are called.
Okay. Good for you. Let me get back to it. Where was I? Description. The SCP is a sapient humanoid aspen tree, measuring 200 centimeters in height. It has a noticeably thin body shape. Oh, I wish that was me. And elongated limbs compared to a human at the same height.
Tanhoney bros, are we okay? Tanhoney, you need to love yourself for the way you are.
We need a Tanhoney despair emote for the Discord.
Don't we have that? Didn't someone make like, isn't that what the withered up shriveled face one is?
No, yeah, actually that's what it is, yeah. We should have that in the YouTube chat as well somehow.
Yeah.
9 prehensile branches grow from the SCP's upper back. The shortest branch measuring 63 centimeters and the longest measuring 91 centimeters.
Nice.
The SCP possesses all senses found in baseline humans except taste.
Can I
capable of speech.
Can I make a thing? And this isn't just you, I don't think, Quaker, but SCP people are so, they like writing it to be very scientific, but no one in the science community spells out centimeters or meters every time. They just write CM or
I
M.
do.
Well, this is why you didn't pass science. You spent too much time writing out the names of the metrics.
I was just writing too much, I couldn't finish any of the stuff.
Too descriptive. So we
the
need
SCP possesses all...
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
The SCP possesses all senses found in baseline humans except taste, and is capable of speech, despite lacking the organs associated with these faculties.
Ooh.
The SCP is capable of becoming imperceptible to human beings at will. Recording devices, imaging equipment, and non-sapient animals are unaffected. That's a good, sapience test as well, as a coincidence.
Yeah, very interesting.
Any changes the SCP makes to its surroundings, such as moving or damaging objects, will not be observed until it has left its imperceptible state or exited the immediate area.
Yeah, that's true. Non-sapient is such a weird... because that implies that we can confirm any animal sapience against it, right? Is it not our definition of what a sapient animal is? How
no, it's objective.
Know? This is insane. This is so SCP, much.
The SCP claims to be the Tree Man, a fictional character created by English digital artist Marcus Campbell in 2008. The Tree Man character is widely used in internet-based amateur horror media, including short stories, comics, filmed web series, and video games throughout the late 2000s, early 2010s, so sort of Slenderman sort of thing.
I like this discovery section, by the way. Just like with the other guys, I really like when it's not just addendum for everything. I like when you guys mix it up.
Discovery. In January 2022, residents of Town, England...
No, that's based. I love that. Please don't change that to a real town name. Just make it town parentheses when you submit it.
Began to report the following. It could be a cool, we've got, Allegado, we've got, reporters, we've got Waves Place, just, default town, where you go if a location isn't specified.
Yeah, that should be its own SCP. In every country in the world, there's a town called Town, unspecified, so that you can always know. Yeah, it's the same town copy-pasted in each country. Same people, same culture, same everything.
Residents of Town, England, began to report the following occurrences. Symbols and phrases associated with the Tree Man character was found written in walls inside homes across town. Tree Man-related goods, such as clothing and books, were purchased through the online retailer accounts of many Town residents. All affected residents had no memory of purchasing the items.
Can I just say, a great town to use would be Wigan, right?
Are you doxing me?
No, that's what the Wigan kebab meme is from. You're not from Wigan.
Yeah, let's continue. MTF Epsilon 6, Village Idiots. Div class equals block quote equals video log. Dates. Notes. Begin log.
E6 cat. I actually like the idea that this is an indecipherable video and this was all that was left. Just... That's so good. Okay, so that's an unfinished video log. And I'm not making fun of this, by the way, quick. I actually really like this so far. I just like the unfinished state of it because, we get too many drafts that are all but complete. I love it when we get a draft that's, still in progress. You know what I mean? Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like making the noises to indicate wiki.doc formatting.
Alright, so now we have story outline. Oh, this is, the literal story outline for the whole... Alright, we just have to read this, Dan.
Okay. Story outline. Tree Man does a bunch of spooky shit to try and make himself famous again. Foundation sends an MTF to capture him, which they do with no difficulty whatsoever. Oh! A doctor does some interviews with Tree Man, and he basically acts like a has-been actor who won't show out his glory days. We learn bits and pieces about who the person who interviewed.
No. You know what he should be. You know what you should do. He should be like, I was in Lord of the Rings. You know, I was one of the Ents.
If I had to describe this article in one sentence, it would be either Slenderman realizes no one cares about him anymore and gets really sad, or Slenderman meets Sunset Boulevard.
What's Sunset Boulevard?
Footnote block. Div class equals footer dash wikiwalk dash nav.
Hell yes. Wait, what the fuck? You actually put the... You're
SCP
literally better than every other SCP writer. No
SCP.
No SCP writer actually puts the wiki walk nav in there. You're actually based. What the fuck? But Tan, what's Sunset Boulevard?
It's a movie. But it has been actor, I presume.
Interesting. In my head, it's more rural than Wigan. Is Wigan not rural? I don't know anything about England. What's a rural place in England?
You wouldn't know. Well, I can tell you anything. You would have no way of knowing if it's rural or not.
Just make up a rural town since Tan is being so forthcoming with the rural towns.
Okay, I'll tell you a rural town. Ossex.
Ossex. Use Ossex.
Not real. Just made it up. You believe me?
What the fuck?
See?
Yes.
Exactly.
I hate you. You're a bad person. I will say, even though this is unfinished, clearly you have a process that I really appreciate. I also appreciate that you go to such lengths to edit like this much in your Google Doc, and I think you have a really good, solid idea for a article. So right now, I'm going to tentatively label it good, but I'm just being tentative because there's not really enough meat here for me to truly.
You got potential, kids.
It's about the execution of the idea in the end, but I mean, honestly, you seem like a really competent writer, Quaker. I think you'll probably knock it out of the park. That being said, it is a very, very, very early draft, but that's fun. I like getting those because I feel like there's more of an impact when we're able to crit it than when it's just basically already done and we're just doing spag cleanup and stuff. Hamilton says, I'm gonna wrap up soon. You're taking up my parking space. Hamilton, have some patience, dear child. Corgo says, there, Ham. We'll get a Happy Meal for you after this. Yes, you could have. That's what you did last year, Banker. You sent the draft that was like not finished. Anyone can do that. We
Rules
don't
don't change.
Finished drafts.
We barely even have rules.
Yeah, to be honest.
Oh my god! There's a new tan honey just dropped like half an hour ago. A small creature tan.
Hell yes.
What are you talking about?
A new tan honey just dropped. A small creature.
Can you define what you are speaking of?
I'll send you a link. Show the people.
Give me a minute. Corgo is drawing a lot. This is Corgo art. Welcome. I'm a small creature. Why is that you though? Wait, was that like a thing you said earlier?
It's because I don't know. I guess it's just because I'm soft on honey now.
You're not soft at all. You're hard. Wait, no, never mind.
Well, excuse me.
I didn't know where that was going. God, I hate that. It's like soft means you're like a cute, sweet person, but hard doesn't mean you're hardcore anymore. It just
it's like
means
weirdly
you're
sexual.
Yeah. All right.
Hi everyone, thanks for tuning into my live stream. It's me, Tanny.
Oh, stop. Tanner's like, you say $5
Thanks,
is too much? It's not. If you say you can't
Like,
donate
like
$5...
stupid soft sanity or like a stupid fucking catchphrase like Nico Nico Ni.
Yeah, make it like fucking the girl from Steins Gate. 10 to 10.
I didn't like that. Something took over my fucking body when I did that.
The sins. Jesus.
That was too far.
But
I
yeah.
always became soft sanity forever.
Quaker, that was very, very good. But there wasn't really much for us to crit because it's still in progress. But keep up on that. Don't let that one slip through the cracks. Next up is Radguel, who is not even in the freaking chat. And I clicked it, and the preview on the link is like a dog in a vest of some sort.
Oh yes, item number. What the hell is that? A soup?
A loon crit. There's no item number. There's only dog. I think it's ramen.
It's soup, I think.
Is it soup or ramen? Comment below.
I don't know. It's too small to tell. But I did the last one. You do this one.
Hang on, I can search Google for what it is. Give me a second. Search Google. Emoji. It's a pot. It's a casserole pot.
There's neither then.
Interesting. Okay, item number, casserole pot. Is that his like quirky way of XXXX, or is this like a new unique type of
maybe
SCP?
let's find out. Let's see. I have faith in Radguel.
Object class, Euclid. Containment procedures. SCP Ramen is to be contained in a standard... I'm just going to call it SCP Pot. SCP Pot is to be contained in a standard animal containment cell and to be provided standard-grade dog kibble twice a day. SCP Pot may be provided with a low-sodium broth as a reward for good behavior. Once a month, a trained pet groomer should trim SCP Pot's furs and claws with assistance from a handler. Upon entering a seeking state, a junior researcher is assigned to accompany SCP Pot. If no staff are on call for SCP Pot's seeking state, the nearest willing staff member of site is asked to fulfill the role. During a seeking state, SCP Pot has access to much of the site, including the public dormitories, cafeteria, and kitchen. A full list is available in document Pot-B. Caches of 300-liter barrels should be placed around Site 18 in safe areas. For enrichment purposes, they should be shuffled regularly. 300-liter barrels of what?
They must be.
Everyone's just commenting soup dog, so maybe it's supposed to be soup.
Soup dog.
Lan also called me Daniel for some reason.
Yeah,
I could absolutely tell that was Slenderman Quaker. I could totally see what you're going for there. Description: SCP Soup is a large dog appearing similar to a golden retriever. It wears a green harness and attached leash, which is superficially similar to those of service dogs used by handicapped individuals, proclaiming SCP Soup to be a soup dog. Research has shown no such division has ever been classified by the Americans with Disabilities Act, Britain's Equality Act of 2010, New Zealand's Dog Control Act of 1996, or any such, or I would just put any other political body instead of any such political body.
No, I like any such political body, because any other is too general, I think.
Okay.
Like, the United Nations War Crime Board has never allowed soup dogs.
While the harness may be removed via traditional means, this appears to cause SCP Soup emotional distress and has been forbidden outside of testing. SCP Soup behaves like a non-anomalous dog until it enters a seeking state, which occurs randomly approximately 3 to 4 times a week. So I have a question, by the way. Sorry to interrupt in the middle of our draft, but this is not the first SCP where the item number is kind of wonky. How do you put an SCP on the main list when it has like a non-standard item number?
You replace whatever the number normally with the soup icon.
Okay, but it would still take up that number in the main list slot.
Yeah, you would have that slot, but it wouldn't be that number.
Okay.
It would be soup.
Solka. I see. SCP Soup behaves like a anomalous dog until it enters a seeking state, which occurs randomly approximately 3 to 4 times a week. During a seeking state, SCP Soup seems to be in a state of considerable duress, often pacing, whining, and barking for attention. Upon viewing SCP Soup, they will universally perceive SCP Soup as wanting soup. The individual will
What I'm going to say is it's rather than a second SCP Soup there.
Yeah. The individual will attempt to take hold of SCP Soup's leash and walk with it to find soup, prioritizing the safety of the SCP themselves and obtainment. I would remove that comma after soup. Just the safety of SCP Soup themselves, comma, and obtainment of soup in that order. SCP Soup, comma, themselves,
SCP Soup,
comma.
themselves.
Yeah, why is there a comma after soup, though? Prioritizing the safety of SCP Soup.
They're not SCP Soup.
Oh, I see. The individual is prioritizing the safety of soup, themselves, and obtainment of soup. Okay. Sorry. That's my bad. It was just a really odd sentence. The seeking state will continue until SCP Soup locates soup in a form and temperature that is consumable. Upon finding soup, SCP Soup will begin forcefully inhaling it at intake speeds of up to 100 liters a second, approximately the same rate as a commercial fire hose. Approximately the rate of an average... Wait, why is that there twice?
I love that. I don't even know if that's intentional. That made me laugh because it just says it again. I hope that's... You should keep that.
You shouldn't? Because it's bad formatting?
No, it's funny.
Alright. Upon consuming the soup, SCP Soup will re-enter a seeking state, continuing until it has... I feel like Tan is definitely not a fan of me today in my crits.
What do you mean?
I'm trying to crit and you're like, don't do the thing Darnell says. Come on.
Well, you were wrong the last time, so...
That's true, I was wrong. You know what, you're right. But this time I'm right.
I'm not just agreeing with you, I'm just right.
I hate you. Upon consuming the soup, SCP Soup will re-enter a seeking state.
Soup is losing all fucking meaning.
Yeah, that's how I'm feeling right about now. Continuing until it has inhaled a total of approximately 40 gallons of soup. At this point, it will return to normal behavior and can be escorted back to its containment cell. If left in a seeking state, SCP Soup's need for soup will increase over time, eventually attempting containment breaches to obtain soup. The strength with which observers are compelled to help it also increases, eventually leading... I'm noticing a large number of SCPs that are like, people want to help them because they are epic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing, I'm just wondering if that's the next new wave of...
We proved that the soup dog has an anomalous effect, because I would help it find soup.
Yeah, same. I'm not, and that's not like an indictment, by the way, of Red Bull or the Sock Monkey. I'm
just an observation,
Yeah, I'm curious if it's like a new wave, like a trend, or if it's just a coincidence.
What did Guare delete? Guare cowardly retracted a message. What did they say, Cole? You saw, I can tell.
Guare... Phone says land!
Cole, what did he say?
Hang on, we're reading an article. At this point, it will return to normal behavior and can be escorted back to its containment cell. If left in a seeking state, SCP Soup's need for soup will increase over time, eventually attempting containment breaches to obtain soup. The strength with which observers are compelled to help it also increases, eventually leading to SCP Soup becoming a Class 4 memetic hazard after approximately 3 hours of an undetended seeking state. Show addendum. After a battery of tests, SCP Soup's favorite soup is believed to be Campbell's Classic Chunky Chicken Noodle Soup. That's literally the best one. This is a strong good. The word soup, like Tan said earlier, means literally nothing to me anymore. There wasn't much to crit. I mean, the fire hosting's funny, but you should probably fix that by removing the footnote or the additional comment. But there wasn't even that many spag errors. It was pretty tight. Short, simple article.
Yeah, I did notice people have been saying this has already been published, and apparently it's doing quite well. I imagine so.
Wow, I can't believe it. We're reading something that was already published instead of a draft. Thanks for taking up our stream time. And he's not even in the stream. I punch Radghoul conceptually through space.
What the hell are you doing? I hold Darnell back. I point to the cafe exit. Get out of here! I'll hold him up!
What? You're instructing the waitress to leave now?
Because you're gonna hurt her.
She picks up a broom and she says, "No, I can handle myself." I would never hurt the waitress. She's an important part of the group bit. What is next on our list, Han?
We have got one from Nitpicky.
Nitpicky.
It's called Ula Nafola. Ula Nafola, sorry.
Ula Nafola. All right. And let me just check. There's nothing in chat. No questions for
this is prose.
Some Quaker Butno said if that's a trend, I think Tanhoney started it. Did you write something like that?
I did. The guest it was the ghost spreadsheet ghost. You had to people automatically help it. I feel like I went up to 100 and needed like maybe a little bit subtler.
Good Day wrote my favorite comment, which was Swoop Dog. Instead of Snoop Dogg, it's like Soup Dog. You wouldn't get it. You're British.
Fucking Joker. You won't get it.
Yeah. Quaker Butno says this is post already too. What the frick, guys? Stop sending in your finished article. Do you remember what I said before we started? I was like, I wonder if people just think this is a way to make us read their articles that are already done.
Well, it is. In fairness, it is.
Yeah, but we're supposed to be helping people with their drafts. I punched the wall. All right, you read this one. I'm tired.
Hey, the owner of this place is sick. You can't go damaging this place. The waitress is crying. She's his daughter. There's law to the cafe, which is inside Tenany Towers.
The only way to calm me down is to read this article, nerd.
Okay. Waitress, protect the guests. I'll begin reading.
Of course, Tanhoney.
The library. In a melancholic, dusty corner of the library, a man once simply known as LS sat quietly, watching what was once the archives slowly succumb to the darkened clutches of the night. The remaining books decayed to nothing short of dust before his eyes, while the booming heartbeat of the once mighty and proud Yggdrasil faded away. In the corner of his eye, he caught a glimpse of the last refugees fleeing hurriedly from the library, hopping recklessly into any free-use ways they could reach. At the end of the line, a dead end waited for them, but they were not aware of this. At best, they would reach another world doomed to shade, one in which the sun would set a little bit later. The library was always a quiet place, a caring home to which any wanderer could turn to in times of need. It had always been free of dream dwellers, bottom feeders, or, for the record, deities. But Edith had, through brute force, tore her way inside the archives, grasping with her darkened hand any book left to defile, any shelf left to wither. The hand had never faced such an opponent. In the past, the library had its own perpetrators, its traitors, its burglars, its never-were. But such an opponent, one god from the astral realm, they had never faced before. And thus was birthed the despair when they left the library, riding the waves to the sunny embrace of the garden. In front of him, some of the last shelves dipped headfirst into the waves of Nil. The curring roots of Yggdrasil, the still beating heart of the library, dimmed as they writhed until they withered away, much like everything else they had once preserved. The ones that were still left turned back into the tree's chamber. He hoped, at least, these ones would live to tell the tale. And at last he decided the time had come. His finger gently touched the spine of a book perched on a shelf nearing the end of its tall tales. The golden symbol carved onto its cover shone brightly, illuminating the immediate area with the warm glow of an estival sun. Before him, space and time themselves ripped apart, if there were any in the library, and a ghastly entrance for a rotting way opened up. At the finish line awaited the magical expanse of the garden. He strapped his titular mask on his face and stepped through the gates.
So first of all, very pretty prose. Really like it.
It's very good.
I have two small questions though, just for you, Tan. So what does estival mean? Like estival sun?
I don't know.
Is that not an SCP thing?
Google the word estival. I think it's probably just a word I don't know. Belonging to or appearing in summer.
Oh, that's so good. And then who
It's
is
pretty estival around the Tower of London, I believe.
who is Evith or Yivith?
I don't know.
Do you want me to read the garden, or do you want to keep going? Do you want to like switch off each prompt?
Yeah, I'll switch off if you like.
I mean, if you want to keep reading it, go off, King.
Okay, well, the first two are a bit shorter than the last one, so I'll go for the first two and you do the last one.
Yes, sir.
Arriving at the end of the falling way, his eyes beheld the vastness of the beautiful garden. It was the only sunny place left in creation outside the darkness's reach. A verdant garden laid itself out across the vast plains, lush of all manners of flora, both familiar and hitherto unknown, some blooming profusely while others stood tall, canopies rippling in the breeze. Before him walked ethereal mirages of the Onoroi, apparatuses of clockwork. Refugees from countless worlds succumbed to the night, rushing to the only safe haven left in existence. Looking upwards, he saw the majestic sight of the Tree of Life, the crown jewel of the garden. Slithering between its countless roots was a serpent, looking down at the survivors of the eternal night. He walked on the outer rim of the garden,
Right in Tatooine, all right.
reaching what was always his favourite tree. Nobody recognised him, nobody watched him. Not anymore. He sat down and rested under its 24 branches, softly embracing the kind, metaphorical hug the garden offered to its residents. From within the bushes, he saw a man walk. He wore a strange suit, sleek, metallic, nearly futuristic. On his helmet shined a green visor, alarming him of anything nearby. On his chest plate, the marking of the grinding drizzle rested. The man approached him and held out his hand. Sweat was dripping down on his helmet, a sign of anxiety, of hurry. But why here? Why in the garden? One of the surveyors, I presume? Those who ponder the roots of the greater Yggdrasil? Oh, yeah. So, could you come with me for a moment? We need to...
So I'm not. This isn't like an indictment on the work itself, but for me, like, have you ever like experienced a piece of prose, like some prose, some writing? It's almost like hearing it read is like listening to music, where you kind of get lost a bit in the words, and there's like a vibe. I feel like the sudden like text and the like, oh yeah, yeah, or like totally broke me out of that. And that's not a condemnation of the piece of its writing quality, but I was like totally in a zen state until that came.
Oh, yeah. So, could you please come with me for a moment? We need to confirm your identity. See, wearing something with antimemetic properties as powerful as mask of yours is not the best thing you could do upon entering the garden. So it'd be kind as to follow me to the serpents.
Would the mask
Yes,
happen to be
indeed.
that mask you showed me a couple episodes ago?
No,
Okay.
that's not what the point of the mask is. Yes, indeed. But I prefer to keep my identity secret. Would the serpent be amenable to an alias? As he uttered these words, a thought flashed across his mind. Don't be reckless, LS. You know you're not going to be running away from the serpent forever. Never mind, I'll just follow you. Oh, thank you so much. I've got a really hard time dealing with secretive guys. Usually, he suddenly stopped as more sweat dripped down his visor. His breath became heavy, his movement slow. He seemed scared, but the man could not figure why. Wait, no. Not now. Why does this always happen now? Come on, why can't I get a break? I don't want to go back to that place where it's always done. And as he uttered those words, he disappeared in a flash of light, travelling towards another unknown, eternally moonlit world.
Agi, you're correct. Varying up style like that can draw emphasis. I'm 100% aware and agree. Like I said, I wasn't saying it was bad. I was just saying it totally broke me out of the vibe. But that's not like a bad thing necessarily. I was just like, I was sort of getting lost in it before, and then it kind of caught my attention to what was going on in the dialogue. I'm really enjoying this so far, whatever the hell is going on. And some, I believe Banker Paul asked, isn't it nitpicky? This nitpicky. But yes, Nitpicky wrote this and turned it into us. Zerophila, the figure of a man stood behind an old, knocked-up pub, hiding in a darkened alleyway. He held a cat in his embrace, its gentle purring comforting the panicked web of thoughts that plagued his mind. A few feet behind him, The ghouls of the night marched forwards, chanting whatever vexing arcana their overlord had stolen from the mouth of the dragon. I'm so used to aetheral space that I thought I was about
That is
to...
true God, actually.
Yeah, I thought I was waiting for you to correct it. He tried to touch the pub's aged, torn wall. He tried again, and again, and again. The man was trying to escape. His heart beat like a drum roll. His breath got faster and faster as he attempted to complete spell after spell, all in an attempt to run away to whatever foreign dimension he could reach. As he tried to carve out the sign that would lead him to her, a bright flash cut through the fog of the night that tightened around him like a noose. From the flash emerged a reluctant hopper. He wore a strange metallic suit, reflecting the moonlight high above. On his chest was printed the logo of a tree. Tree man? Oh,
That's him.
hey there. Sorry if this is a bad time, but, might I ask where I am and who you are? Silence engulfed them for a moment, as Magnus stood shocked at the sight of the man. Heavens above! Where did you come from, monsieur? We are in Zero Fila. I am Magnus Kinslow, knowledge broker. I am, sad to say, partially responsible for this mess. This, he paused,
Little Annie!
and mildly jerked his head to the cat in his arms, is Josephine, my cat. The cat looked up at the suited man, initially spooked by his sudden appearance and imposing figure. In the span of a few seconds, however, it softened up and purred happily at him. I'm, Agent Hopper, Yggdrasil surveyor, tedious garden worker. He worriedly looked up at the starlit sky above him. No, come on, it's dark again! I'm tired of this. Every time I teleport, I just end up... Whatever, you don't want to hear it. So, is this place safe? Can I just wait somewhere until I teleport back to the garden? Magnus briefly looked at the other side of the alleyway. The ghouls had noticed them. They were making a run for them, armed with their rotten handmade weapons, or merely rushing recklessly with their teeth. They chanted incomprehensible spells. Some gurgled, some succumbed to their bizarre spasms as they rushed. Oozes and blood dripped from their unhinged maws, defiling the pavement as they splattered. That is not the case. So, will you come along, or do you prefer to get feasted on? They can chew through steel. Yeah, I'd prefer not to get eaten alive. So, which way? As he finished his sentence, he looked at the crumbling wall of the pub. The sound of footsteps echoed through it. Never mind. Do not be afraid. You should be here quite soon. Actually, right about... The ghouls were now only a few feet away from them. As one readied its freakish fangs to snap at Hopper's neck, a rock came tumbling down from the roof of a nearby building. It landed on the ghouls in front of them, squashing them into a disgusting, bloody puddle. The rest were blown away by the tremendous might of the impact. Now... Cracks formed on the rock's surface, giving way to larger fissures and fractures. As it fell apart, the alleyway shook as if a storm were blowing through, abruptly ceasing as if to herald the arrival of the man stepping out of the rubble. He had long, bright blonde hair that reached to his waist. He was dressed in vaguely Sumerian clothing, and an array of jade tattoos covered his darkened gray skin. His muscles nearly tore through the clothing. In a belt at his waist... just like me, for real. In a belt at his waist, a long, razor-edged jade blade glowed through the night. He unsheathed it, waiting for the next few ghouls to come running towards him. So who is this figure?
I think we'll find out.
He appeared from inside the rock, or behind it?
Perhaps we will find out.
Okay. A few of them rushed towards him, hands extended, maws widely open, old, rusty weapons drawn, all aiming for his neck. He swung his majestic blade in a pinpoint arc, rubbing the husks of their heads and of their grim life. Swing after swing, drop after drop of blood, he cleared his way through the wall of husks. He turned and looked back at the men. Hello, Magnus. Welcome. I was sure you would come. You need to get some fresh air once in a while, too. Sorry, but who are you? Asked Hopper curiously. The man was abstractly familiar, although he could not exactly remember him. Abel. Another ghoul jumped for his neck, tumbling down from a nearby window. As it rushed down on him, he thrusted his blade into the soon-to-be cadaver's mouth. You'll just tiny, ever so slightly spagger. You want to put a backspace here. There's a gap between your apostrophe and the R. The blade passed through its mouth. Its glowing edge shone.
We'll have to take a finger for that.
I mean, this is like probably the most... I mean, I guess it is already published, but it's like the most perfected draft we've read yet. The blade passed through its mouth, its glowing edge showing up from the other side of its head. Its body limped, and it fell... I would say its body went limp, and it fell to the floor. Abel Ableshal. You mean you're the Abel? Like, murdered and all that? Yes. I'd prefer you did not talk about that. Abel gave him a cold, emotionless stare, which likely meant he would have disemboweled him right there and then, if it weren't for Magnus. And you know each other? Said Hopper through gritted teeth. I met the sir in one of my many travels. He was a warrior once, a protector, but not a traitor as his brother was, replied Magnus. Abel winced mildly at this mention, his face becoming rock solid for a moment. Hopper decided to continue no further on this, now quite fearful of Abel. I see. Where to now, Magnus? My time outside of that unforgiving lump of stone is limited, as you know, spat Abel. Magnus did not respond, and returned to the velvet inscription. As his hand spun rapidly through the veil of shadow, the briefest hint of what could only be blood dripped down menacingly from one of his veins. Why? Asked Abel. You will get the gist of it soon. Magnus gently finished scribing the last part of the ornate rune. A red, bloody flash briefly lit the darkened alleyway, and before the men appeared what was akin to a way, but mightily unbounded by the mere confines of logic. Abel looked suspiciously at the entrance, for a moment, but his tension went away as he realized it was merely a path to a woman he well knew. So, will you join me, friends? Asked Magnus. Isn't this guy teleporting back against his will in a bit? Where to? Whatever made that way like that, it doesn't seem safe, said Hopper, the worry in his voice growing steadily but sure. Is Hopper like foundational? I'm a little confused at what's going on here, but I'm very much enjoying it. I'm just a little lost.
Yeah.
Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm reading.
Enraptured in the lullaby, Abel cast him another one of those glares, which this time meant, I doubt you even actually ever worked for the serpent's hand, you cretin.
A very specific glare.
It is much safer than these lands, I assure you. I love how I started off French and I became Peter Baelish. As to where to?
My friend!
In a slightly cryptic tone. To Mademoiselle Emilia, of course. The Blood Woman?
I liked this. I have to say, I liked the first half much better than the second half.
I agree. The second half was a little too fast and confusing
we were
for
like,
me.
But it's more of an atmospheric piece, like to begin with, like scenery, description, prose, and then we got like bogged down in things. Actually, it's a weird way to put about things happening.
That's exactly how I felt, and I mentioned that before. And Angie was like, "That's a writing technique," which I know, but like it was like reading it and hearing you read it was like listening to a kind of music to me. And it was like getting lost in the vibe of the words and the atmosphere of the piece itself. And then there was like a plot going on in the midst of it. Now, obviously, that's not a bad thing. I can appreciate that. And
I'm wondering, is this a second part or third part in something ongoing?
That I am curious.
Because it feels like we are checking back in with characters. I get that feeling. I feel like I should know who some of these people are.
Yeah. That said, I'm giving this a good rating because that was a vibe. I really liked reading that. Discovering SCP said, "Well, turn it off." I don't know what that means. I have my volume off. This is a very confusing experience. What the fuck, Lan? Asshole. King T-Rex says, I cleaned my room and said hello to my brother. Guari said we should skip the next article already published. Had it not been for the laws of this land,
got more Corgo art as well.
Oh my gosh, Corgo's going crazy. Corgo, please.
First waitress art.
Wait, Corgo has inserted themselves as the waitress. Are you seeing this?
Yeah.
This is insanity. This has been our long-running bit for years. How you've taken the form. What happened to the original waitress? They're just tied up somewhere in a closet. I can't believe this. That's very cute, though. And also, if you have art, Just so you guys know, the wiki allows you to make art pages. You can send that into WriterBot. Whitney did that, I think, last year or the year before, and that was pretty cool, actually. So, like, if you guys, like, obviously we're just viewing the core doodles as they're done, but, like, if you're an artist and you're like, there's nothing for me to do, I mean, if you have an art page, go off. Link it to us. We'd love to look at pretty stuff.
This depiction of the inhabitants of Tammany Tower as well. It's like black shadows with one eye.
Yeah, it's very cool. We need to get back on doing our lore shit. I had a really fun time when we had like the Wikidot is broken down episode, and we got back to our lore roots. That was fun. All right.
Before we do the next one, I'm just going to go to the toilet very quickly.
All right, you go to the toilet. While Tan is...
Let's all go to the lobby and get ourselves some snacks.
Hey, guys. So Tan's going to the bathroom, so we're having an intermission. Why don't you grab yourselves a nice snack, make some food, get a glass of water or your favorite beverage, and lean back in your chair, lie down on your bed, get cozy with a blanket. If there's anything you want to say to old Darnell or any questions you want to answer, now's a good time to post them. Because we'll be able to get to them by the time Tan's back before we read this next article. I just want everyone to be relaxed. We're here for a good vibe and a good time. Orchid Stream says, I eloped with the original waitress. I'm so happy for you, but can you please bring her back? I miss her. Corgo says she died. That's a conflicting... Those are two conflicting reports. Rio Surreal Sir says, oh my god, the little eyelid things in the back, lol. So true. Quaker Button-Nose says, Agent Hopper is the same character from the comic. What comic? Cole13 says, I love drinking lotion. Good Day says, oh goodness me, my thing? I'm so nervous. I did notice, by the way, Good Day, in your Void thing, you did a variation of the caption that I recommended. I'm very flattered. I'm glad you liked it enough to use it. Not secret if no one knows. Even though I personally like the full version better, I think it's still really cool that you used something I said. Orchid Stream says, I don't have any snacks. Bitch, go shopping. Banker Paul says, Tanhoney going to the toilet becomes a crucial part of the lore. Cole Land says, I just did, now I have to wait. Quaker Button, yeah, there's nothing more tragic than eating or drinking when nothing's going on. You have to be watching something. This is the modern era. Quaker Button-Nose says, can't believe it took me like a week to get the joke behind Yanthan's name. I believe it was Yon Than. Good Day says, hard racing, actually. Banker Paul says, Darnell, when does Hamilton replace you? When he's not doing 3 million things at the same time and everyone realizes how much funnier and more talented and, like, just a better person he is than me. Adji says, how did you escape the Tower of London, Darnell? It was made by British people, so it wasn't very good. It was very easy to break through. Daniel says, do you own a katana? I don't, but I would be lying if I said I didn't have a weeb phase where I really wanted to buy one. I just never did. Corgo says, I'm drawing me as the waitress full art, woo. Guare Fernandez Emil says, I always skip the lore bits when first listening to the cast. Ah, that's a shame. Quaker Button-Nose says, Whitney's comic. Really? Well, we viewed an unfinished version of Whitney's comic at the time, so that might be why we were confused, but that's very interesting. That wasn't submitted by Whitney, that was submitted by Nitpicky. That's very curious. Cole says, why are you reading these erotically? I'm not trying to be erotic. I was trying to have, like, a smooth, like, Asmer voice. I wasn't trying to get anyone off. If it's uncomfortable, let me know and I can do something else. Sorry. Good Day says, the full version wouldn't fit, sadly. Orchid Stream says, it's 10 p.m. on a Saturday, Darnell. Not where real people live. It's 2:23 p.m. here. Also, what does 10 p.m. on a Saturday have to do with anything? Good Day says, Adji says, I'll just play 4 video games simultaneously in the background. That way I'll feel productive. Banker Paul says, Darnell, your walls are made of British. No, they're not. I live in America. Guare Fernandez Emil says, Darnell, do you prefer the Tower of London or the Gulf of California? Neither are real. Real Surreal Sir says, I bought a medieval flail when Wikidot was down. I'm very happy for you. That sounds awesome. Quaker Button-Nose says, you should read SCP-507. Tell Tan. Cole13 says, ha. Quaker Button-Nose says, on the podcast, not right now. I figured that's what you meant. Crowcat says, the Dimension Hopper is 507, a popular character. Orchid Stream says, you told me to go shopping. Get grocery shopping. You can grocery shop at 10 p.m., idiot. Good Day says, the character is the Reluctant Dimension Hopper, SCP-507. Binker Paul says, Darnell, Darth Vader voice. You are British. I would never be. Kitsui Korgo says, Darnell, your favorite drink, quick, water. And I'm not saying that to be a health nut. I legit, what you need to understand is I live in a state with 2 rivers and a bunch of caves and like underwater aquifers, so our water tastes really good. And I've never really liked soda. Alcohol I drink for the effect, but not for the taste. The only soda I really like is Fitz's soda and orange soda, orange Fanta, that's it. But water, I always take water. I get water everywhere I go. It's the only healthy trait I have. I eat like shit, I don't exercise as much as I should, I don't get all the nutrients, but I don't drink like fizzy, crappy drinks. I just drink water. That's my one healthy trait. Orchid Stream says, not on a Saturday. Maybe the rules are different in the country you're in. I won't dox you, don't worry. Crowcat says, God, when is Stan getting back? Sorry, Crowcat. Jeez. I don't know. He's taking a really long piss. Maybe he got caught. Panker Paul says, search your feelings, Darnell. You know it to be true. Lance says,
Sorry for the delay. There was a small house fire to take care of.
Wait, really?
No.
Oh. I was just trying to read comments and answer questions, and freaking Crowcat was like, God, where's Tan getting back? It's like, it hurt my feelings a little bit.
Sorry, guys.
Banker Paul says, can't fucking stand the Darnell guy. I'm crying again. This is just like the first 30 episodes of DSCP all over again. Alright, so this is by Good Day. This is called How Was Your Day? Which his name is the punchline to. This is kind of a social media format. So do you know what Void is? Because he had to explain Void to me a little bit ago. It's like Twitter for people who know about
it's like
anomalous
anomalous
shit, right?
Twitter.
Yeah. So this is like a social media format where it's like users posting. Are echoes retweets and hums are likes? Or is it the other way around?
I don't fucking know, dude.
Okay, well, do you want to read these or should I? Is what I was asking.
I imagine echoes are retweets because like you're echoing it and hums are likes.
And also there were way less echoes than hums, which would fit that format.
Darnell, could you please reload the page, says Good Day.
Okay, I'm reloading the page. Also, when you
Reload
hover
the page.
over... I did. When you hover over the SCP icon, it shakes, by the way, in this CSS, which is kind of cute. Author's notes. Get out of my room. I like the aspect of saying hello into the void. Wait, I'm not doing that bit anymore. I like the aspect of saying hello
don't
into
read
the
the
void.
author's notes.
I like the aspect of saying hello into the void in a post-apocalyptic setting where you're not even sure if anyone's listening.
Hold on. I think there's spoilers in there.
Oh, wait, what?
We don't
Well, he
need
told
the
me to
author's
refresh
notes.
it. Those weren't there before. I assumed he wanted me to read them. What the frick?
We'll read them afterwards because I feel like that has a summary as part of it. There.
Okay, I'll ignore it then. Do you want to read this or shall I?
You begin, and I'll take over if you get tired.
Okay. So these are all by Veronica Haraldson, so I'm not going to keep saying their name. Hello once again, you wonderful people! It's me again, here to remind you that no matter how bad it might seem, today's going to be a great day. How brightly the hashtag sun shines down on you on this beautiful day. I hope we can all enjoy this wonderful weather together. Heart. This will be so much more fucked up if this takes place in the When Day Breaks universe.
I was thinking that as well.
Greetings and hello, all you wonderful people. I'm back once again. Imagine if this is how you had to introduce every tweet. You had to fucking greet the audience. I'm back once again to say how much I've enjoyed.
Smash that retweet button.
Smash that motherfucking echo button. Hit hums. I am back once again to say how much I've enjoyed talking to you all. It really means a lot to read all of your motivation posts, and I hope to provide some of that happiness back to you. Haiku, just for you, winky face. How brightly you shine on all my horrible days, you beautiful star.
I think this is When Day Breaks.
Did I accidentally call it?
I feel like it is. A lot of emphasis on the hashtag sun.
Yeah. Dude, shout out to Darnell for being a banger, fucking 10,000 IQ dude.
Calling yourself a banger, fucking obscene.
Veronica Harold. Oh yeah, it's a beautiful day here in the States. I hope it's nice wherever you are too, my dearest readers. It's a certified hashtag scorcher out there, so remember to wear your sunscreen, drink plenty of water. No one's ever tweeted like this, which makes it that much funnier. Hello, hi, and how do you do, my most wonderful readers? She keeps saying her readers, but all she does is talk about the sun and weather. What is going on? I hate Veronica Harrelson. I would never follow this bitch. I would just like to remind you all that hashtag Dear College is hosting a party later this evening. I hope to see many of you there. True art is the willingness to do new things, to break the mold, and allow your to exit your comfort zone. I assume allow you to exit your comfort zone. Benjamin Sawyer. What a lovely quote! Wouldn't you agree, my dearest readers? But I absolutely agree with
calling people this on my Twitter.
My dearest readers? But I absolutely agree with what Mr. Sawyer here has to say. It's also important. 1 out of 2, and there's no follow-up. It's a beautiful day! It's a beautiful day! It's a beautiful day! She's getting less retweets each time. No, it's a beautiful day! To remember that comfort zones can be a good thing, too.
She posted those all simultaneously, I noticed, as well. Both at 3:15 p.m.
Yeah, it might have been a glitch. To remember that comfort zones can be a good thing, too. Comfort zones can be a nice, relaxing thing for men. Is this all one Twitter thread?
That was the second part of the one she was doing before.
Yeah. To remember that comfort zones can be a good thing, too. Comfort zones can be a nice, relaxing thing for many people. So remember that it's perfectly fine to say no to someone trying to get you out of that zone, my dearest readers. Worst advice ever. Always feel free to say no, no, no. That is good advice. You can always say no, but you shouldn't
Olga says it sounds like Serena's writing these.
It does.
You are doing the Serena voice.
Doesn't it kind of fit, though?
It does, yeah. There's none of the trademark emphasis, though.
Yeah, I'll do my best. Greetings and hello, all you wonderful people! It's that time of day again! It's that time of the day once again, where it starts cooling off. Plan yourselves a bonfire.
Okay, you don't have to do the whole thing with the emphasis.
Alright, plan yourselves a bonfire and cuddle up with those loved ones, because it's supposed to be a cold one tonight. Brrr! There it goes. Good night, Mr. Sun. It's always a bit sad to see something that gorgeous, and by Naktumpkin, is it pretty? Go down. Wouldn't you agree, dear readers? Sadly, there's not much we could do about such a thing, such as life. Anyways, good night, dear readers. At 6:38 p.m. Jesus. Oh, wait, never mind. Well, look who's breaking their bedtime, naughty reader. Oh, don't worry, I'm only joking. You all know how much I love a night owl. Hope you're all comfy, because it's time once again for everyone's favorite, the late night show with Veronica.
Doing this first long void would be fucking exhausting.
Yeah, I would read like 3 of these tweets and instantly turn to dust. And for our first guest, we have me. Thanks for having me on, me. It really does mean a lot. You've got to keep yourself entertained somehow, night owls. Whoa! Oh, I'm guessing this is like, he mentioned like something about apocalypse. Is this like she has nothing to talk about because there's nothing left? So it's just like the weather. Greetings and hello, all you wonderful night owls. I'm very tired. How are you tweeting these all at the same exact time? How fast do you fucking type, Veronica? The internet in the apocalypse is like next level. Quick question, night owls. Any of you ever just be sitting around minding your own business when all of a sudden, swoop, there goes all of your energy? I must say, it's quite the feeling indeed. Quite the feeling. You know what I mean? No, I don't want to go outside. Please stop asking, silly night owl. Whoa, this one has a lot of hums and... What is with this, Tan? Look at that. 999 echoes and hums. Last time I ever asked any of you a question. So cold, isn't it? No sun to keep me warm, and I can't find the plug in my damn heater. So cold and so quiet. Is this supposed to be quiet, by the way? Good day.
No.
I feel like my chest is about to explode on itself. I just wish there was some stimulus down here. You know what I memed, dear reefers? Of course you do. We're all... Dang, sorry about that, everyone. You all know how fuzzy the night can make this old head of mine. Here, let's all do something fun together. How about we take a nice break to breathe, and maybe take a couple sips of our favorite drinks? That sounds nice, doesn't it? I don't know about you, night owls, but I can barely keep my eyes open. Sleep well, you wonderful little... I see you once the sun rises on and over for me, won't you? Oh goodness, looks like the power went out last night. That happened where you are now, dear readers? That's such... I really didn't think this was going to be as long as it was when I picked this voice. This is really hard.
You're committed. You could have stopped like before the first quarter, but you're too far in now.
Not happen where you are now, dear readers? That's such a shame. I'll see what I can do about it later on, but rest assured, you wonderful people, I won't be going anywhere, winky smile. Ooh, I know what can help us forget about this nasty blackout, and it's a great thing too, dear readers. It's my birthday today! Oh, she's only getting one echo and hum now today. Do you notice that?
Yeah.
Something happened.
She dropped off.
She fell off. Oh, I assume everyone died last night.
She needed that.
And it's a great thing too, dear readers. It's my birthday today! My family may be out of town for a bit, but that doesn't mean we can't all celebrate together. Anyone else celebrating anything today? Anyone? Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday, dear Veronica! Happy birthday to you! No one gives a fuck, Veronica. Shut up! You're not getting any interactions. You're cloutless. I really thought the power would be back on by now. Here's hoping. Hoping. Oh man, this power outage is really killing me, dear readers. Who knew that I could get this cold? Am I right? My battery's getting, like, really low. I think I'm going to go to bed or something. See if the power's back then. I'll see you all once I wake again. Hope to see you then. Please let me see you then. Who am I kidding? There's nobody left out there anymore, is there? I figured as much. I can't
maybe turn the voice down a little bit here.
Who am I kidding? There's nobody left out there anymore, is there? I figured as much. I can't keep doing this. I just fucking can't. I'm sorry. There's no electricity anymore, and my phone's at 15%. My dearest readers, fuck if there's even anyone else out there. I'm very tired. I'm so sick and fucking tired of living like this. Living like a goddamn mole half a mile underground. It's so cold down here. I ran out of food a few days ago. I don't know how much longer I can continue living like this. I can't even remember what outside even looks like. I can't let this phone die. It's all I have left. God, what I do just to have that warmness wash over me again. To see everyone just one more time. To go out and just fucking enjoy myself, you know? Didn't she go outside yesterday, or was she lying?
Well, she never said she went outside.
She was, like, feeling the sun. She kept talking about the sun. Phone's at 5% now. I can't sleep. I think I'm going to step out for a bit. It'll be nice to get a breath of fresh air. Void post failed to send. Would you like to try again? Yeah. It's so nice outside, dear readers. Join me, won't you? Notes for Tan Darnell. How's the pacing? Should I cut the last collapsible? So it was when day breaks, is what I've found. Yeah. And I'm guessing all those people telling her to go outside were zombies posting, telling her to join them. And they realized the only way to get her to come out was to starve her of social media attention. That's actually so funny. I liked it a lot. I thought the pacing was alright. I did think some of the timestamps on the tweets were a little too quick between each other. I just like spacing.
Well, you got nothing else to do.
Yeah. I mean, even still, like, typing that fast and submitting. But, I liked it. I thought it was good. I liked where you went with it. I thought it was paced alright. It was pretty good. I would rate this a solid good. It was a really effective piece.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I don't have any complaint about the actual article. My only complaint about the experience was that I shouldn't have chosen that voice. That was hard. I'm going all the way back to the top to read your author's notes. I like the aspect of saying hello into the void in a post-apocalyptic setting where you're not even sure if anyone's listening, under the delusion of hope that people are getting your messages. I also like the acceptance in the end. However, I do think it would be less jarring of a transition if the protag had transitory posts, like you're going through the stage of grief processing your situation. Stages of grief: denial, anger, depression, super secret step 4, denial, bargaining, acceptance. Maybe have the amount of reactions decrease. I appreciate a stages of grief-esque, like, procession in a story, but in a format like this, I think you did it really well.
That feels like it would come off as just padding.
Yeah, I agree. I think the way
I'm here for a story. I'm not here to, like, watch someone actually break down, because that takes too long. I know.
Yes, and we know where she's going with it. And this did all happen over the course of exactly one day. So that means she knew, because she talked about
it's been ongoing for a while, because it's always already like, oh, it's so hot outside.
Well, she talks about the sun shining down on them, but how she's been in the bunker. I think she knew the only people answering were zombies. I think she was aware of that. And that's kind of interesting. But I think you're actually better not going through all the stages. I think it's really good the way it is, and you should just post it. I would upvote it. I'm trying to. There we go.
You haven't posted it yet, right? Surely you haven't posted it yet.
Surely. Good Day says, I'm so glad you all like this. The name of this one is How Was Your Day? Snapdragon. What is the stream about? Asks Hahwa Song. Basically, we read a bunch of drafts people sent into us and we critique them. Although, I mean, this stream around, other than Spag Eras, everyone's either had ones that are already posted or like there's not much to been edited. These are pretty good drafts.
People are getting too good at writing these. We need to reset our audience.
Yeah.
Deploy the machine.
Oh no, Darnell isn't just speeding through the song, he actually sang it. And in the voice. Real Surreal Sir says, maybe turn the voice up more? Is my mic quiet? Do you want me to turn up my mic?
No, they mean do exaggerate the voice even more.
Oh. I don't want to go outside. 999 plus notifications. So true, Snapdragon. Crowcat liked it as well. This was a really good one. Crowcat, I think, nailed it. I really like the sort of slow madness with this tail. Yeah, pretty good. I liked it a lot. If it is posted, let me know, Good Day, and I'll upload it. Because I think it's pretty much good to go. There was like one minor spelling error, but I don't know if it was intentional or not. It was during the Sawyer quote. Allow you to exit your comfort zone. Allow you. And also, that quote in context makes so much more sense now that we know it's like during when day breaks when she's in a bunker. That's like, it has a very interesting thing to look back on. Very good. Very impressed with the quality of this, honestly. Okay. So, next up on our list... Gosh, it's been like almost 2 hours. I need to get some water. Can you entertain the guests for a minute, Tam?
Absolutely. Hello. Here we are again, dear listeners. Welcome to Tammany Parlour, the topmost room in Tammany Towers. Please don't touch the furniture. You'll be flayed instantly. How's it going, guys? Answer me. How's it going? I'm asking you a fucking question. Hello. Hello to you too. Did you guys hear they released Morbius again and it flopped again? That was quite amusing. Orchard, you've now been flayed. I don't know what else you expected. Tammany Tower is not in the Tower of London, but Tower of London is part of Tammany Tower. Oh, this is more difficult than Darnell likes to look. What does Darnell usually do? All Darnell, we all the TV in and you can all watch Shrek. What the fuck is that? The fucking god. So like take that singing, slow it down like horror, like put on like a horror trailer.
I'm back. You ready? Hello?
I'm back too. Hello.
So there are two versions of this SCP from Dr. Asteria. I don't remember what version they wanted us to read. They left a note, but I didn't put anyone's notes in because some people left really long notes with their drafts, and I thought it'd be easier. So I'm not sure what to pick. I guess we just pick the first one?
Yeah, sorry if it's the bad one.
Yeah, sorry. We didn't mean to.
Sorry. Well, there's only one version here, I think.
No, there's two.
Oh,
There's
okay.
a Coffee Cake 2 Electric Boogaloo. Oh, it's adult. It has an adult tag, so let's not fiddle with that. Okay. Okay, this is like a work form, but I read the last one, so you have to read this one. This one, I don't know, does it really suit itself to, like... I guess we should read it anyway, but it's very bureaucratic. This will be a different
Yeah, it's Marshall Power and Dark. It's a different format.
You might need to be the better critter on this one, because, like, I don't know if my ADHD brain's going to be able to handle this.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm not reading this whole number, so I'm just going to say this. This is an outdated file. Please refer to the new one, marked with Current Dark LLP. Status. Selling. Demand. Mean middle. medium even. Value $400 US/320 Great British pounds per piece. 4,800 USD/3,800 GBP per dozen. Availability: established supply chain. Identifier: coffee cake aphrodisiacs by Ambrose.
Oh no.
Descriptions: items are small brown sugar-flavored coffee cakes, individually packaged in plastic clamshells, for purchase from suppliers by the dozen. On complete consumption, items induce immediate and constant orgasms
This
or little to no
is.
stimulation.
I don't know if we
around
should
10
be
minutes.
reading this one since we have.
Uh,
I don't know. I know it's not like exactly
maybe-
explicit, but we do have minors and stuff. I don't know.
yeah, maybe leave this one off for the moment.
Yeah,
Probably.
just to be safe. Just because, like, I'm still figuring out as a content creator what is, like, appropriate to refer to when you have, like, you know, minors in your audience. So I'd rather not, like, toe that line and do something sus. So we'll skip that for now. Sorry, Dr. Asteria. We'll look at that maybe later. Let's move on to melted ice cream.
Yeah, so I read the last one, so you can read this one, right?
Fuck you! No, you're reading this. I was about to go.
Well, it one's quite long.
The vein popped up.
Got no teddy bear. Containment class, Keta. Disruption class, Eki. That's no CC. Special containment procedures. Due to the large number of SCP instances distributed worldwide and the very nature of the anomaly, it is currently impossible to contain the SCP. Following extensive research into subjects exposed to the SCP, to the constant and continuous monitoring of an SCP instance, the SCP has been deemed safe to remain self-containing as it poses no threat and greatly improves the mental state and morale of any subject who interacts with it. Foundation web crawlers like Spider-Man are to routinely search any online forums and message boards.
Spider-Man
for any
wearing like
mentions
a
of the
Yahoo
SCP.
hoodie.
And they are to be analysed to better ascertain the nature of the distribution and further pinpoint the location of the SCP for further analysis.
Ooh, I don't like this. That was your worst mispronunciation yet. So wait, this implies that it isn't a one-off yeah, there are instances. There are multiple of these.
Tracker chips are to be shipped out to all international branches of Site 85. We've got a footnote here. Constructed by the Ethics Committee, I think you mean, to house non-hostile sapient anomalies worldwide under a collective site. And other Foundation sites to be further redistributed to all known subjects of the SCP. All sites to then further monitor their respective countries' discovered instances. Any reports of the SCP manifestations that are captured by security camera feeds, photographs, or alike are to be investigated, and all footage relating to the SCP, such as news reports, videos, or similar, are to be confiscated or taken down. Should an SCP instance manifest in public, MTF Tau 87 worldwide hugs are to be dispatched, and all second-hand witnesses among us are to be traced down and anesthesized. Should any instances of the SCP manifest to any Foundation personnel, might want to capitalise Foundation, though that's a matter of preference, I believe, they are to report to the site's respective containment specialists for specific containment procedures. A list of specialised containment procedures for all instances of SCP belonging to Foundation personnel can be accessed here. Oh, thank God, it's not a real link.
Oh, I thought it was going to be a link
Description.
too.
Maybe I'll popcorn that over to you now, Darnell.
Sure. So I'll be honest, I zoned out for just a quick second towards the end. Could I get like a quick recap?
Well, there's teddy bears.
Yes.
And they're on the internet.
Yes.
You have to find out where they are and contain them.
Oh, so they're like webkits.
This one is 12k words, apparently. Guys, there's a limit.
We did ask politely to try and keep it under 10k, but I don't want to. We already skipped one for the NSFW, so I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll do our best. If we get read fatigue, we'll move to the next one and stop where we are.
Yeah.
Description.
Fair warning.
The SCP is a toy that manifests approximately an hour after one's
You're
expiration.
a toy.
Often a toy Muzazi, I am. Dear God. Often to the deceased's closest family members and friends. It has no fixed appearance, but generally appears as a stuffed animal or doll, typically taking the form of the deceased's toy from their adolescence. Okay, so it comes to be after one dies. Okay, cool. Testing confirms that the SCP's composition and physical appearance are non-discernible from similar non-sapient toys. The SCP exhibits signs of sapience, is able to move on its own accord, and you don't need an apostrophe on that it's, and communicate via a range of gestures or writing. It has been observed to have heightened reflexes, display fine motor skills, and is capable of holding items. It also has an
I can do that.
It also has an unexplained knowledge of a subject's likes and dislikes. The SCP is also capable of demanifesting and remanifesting itself. Footnote, most commonly when it is removed from a subject's immediate vicinity, but can also be used to reach hard-to-reach areas? Which only stops when it deems the subject to have gained closure over their loved one's death. Okay, so when someone dies, it appears next to someone... What the frick? So many wholesome SCPs today. Upon manifestation, the SCP has been observed in its behavior... Upon the complete destruction... hold on. It also does so... I got lost where I was reading before. This is a really long article with a lot of words. Is also capable, once it has gained closure of the loved one's death, it also does so when a subject actively attempts to harm themselves or experience significant emotional distress. Upon the complete destruction of the SCP, it will remanifest next to its subject, and you don't need an apostrophe on that it's. Upon manifestation, the SCP has been observed in its behavior to express affection by bringing items, footnote, small snacks, tokens, toys, etc., cooking simple dishes of the subject's preference, as well as forms of hugs and pats. It is also able to produce physical childhood pictures of the deceased's past, even when they were previously destroyed. While it has its own conscience, again, no apostrophe, it may follow orders given to it by subjects if it deems it necessary for them to move on from their family members' or friends' death. Prolonged exposure to the SCP will cause subjects' mental state and morale to improve greatly and gain closure faster than people who are not exposed to the SCP. So... if you want to do subjects plural like you're doing right now, it should be mental states and morale. Should it? I think it would just be better to have the apostrophe before the S, like single subject. Prolonged exposure will cause a subject's mental state and morale to improve. I think sounds better. Research has indicated that SCP instances are more likely to appear to individuals who are parents or guardians of the deceased, are siblings of the deceased, are close friends of the deceased, have lost their child, sibling, friend due to an accident, long-time illness, or suicide, have lost their significant other due to an accident, long-time illness, or suicide. Discovery. After junior researcher Charlie Upson's death on 2011-2020, an instance of the SCP taking the form of a teddy bear, picture above, was discovered when a researcher was dispatched to his mother's house to inform her of his death a week after. It was at that point that her SCP instance was discovered helping with some chores. Upon further questioning, it was revealed that it had manifested on the day of researcher Charlie's death and had been attempting to inform her of his death, but she had refused to acknowledge such news. Following Site Director Light's request, she has agreed to accompany Foundation personnel to Site 85 for further testing and observation. I'm going to popcorn it back to you, unless you want to just call it here for now and leave the addendums for the future.
It may be calling here, yes.
I will say the addendum...
It's a very strong concept so far. It's just that it is very easy to get sort of stretched SCP'd out here.
And at the bottom, there's a login that leads to... View here for further information. That leads to another page, by the way. So, yeah.
Yeah, maybe we could take a 2-minute break from the SCPs as well, because I'm sort of getting a bit fatigued by mind.
Alright, so let's take a quick break. In the comments, guys, we're going to take a quick 5-10 minute break from the reading. If you have any questions for us,
let's just
things
chill
you want
together.
to talk about, just let us know. Hit us up in the chat.
Get us some royalty-free music on that.
I'm afraid to open my Google tab because then it'll pop things up. Here, I'll open it in another Google tab, then drag it to this one. I'm a genius.
Yeah, it's the simple solution.
Royalty-free lo-fi beats.
And also, we got more Kogo art.
Okay, this one says no copyright lo-fi hip-hop, so it should be... Oh, how do I... I'll just copy the... Okay, royalty-free beats, copied, and then I can just backspace back to
Guare says, Darnell, what is your favourite group of interest?
Hold on. I'm putting on the song.
Probably mine is the Church of the Broken God, I would say.
Can you hear the jams, Tan?
No, because I'm not watching the stream because I don't want to hear myself.
Here, just put this on in your background.
So, Donal, what is your favorite group of interest?
Hang on, I'm trying to drag the core guard as well. My favorite group of interests, that's a tough one. One, because there's a lot of them, and two, because it's really hard for me. I don't have the best memory in the world to remember them all, so like someone might bring something up and I'm like, oh yeah, I do love them. I think the Church of the Broken God has a lot of potential, but I feel like we haven't touched them in a while, and there's so many schisms, and it's like so wide now that's a little daunting to tackle. I like the GOC in theory, because like, I feel like when they were first made, it was at a time when the Foundation were always the good guys, despite being fucked up. But like, the Foundation's basically just like, in some times I feel like they're a shittier GOC, because it's like, we will keep something alive at the expense of people's lives in danger to contain it or whatever, where the GOC would just kill it. And even though the GOC can kind of be, from what I've heard, like, you know, fascist in its own ways, I do like the idea of like monster hunting, anomaly hunting group. If you take away the more problematic aspects of it, I think that's fun. So probably somewhere between...
I don't think that's a good question. That's very that's drama ignition right there.
Is it? What did he...
Well, no, Lan's question is, who's your least favorite SCP author?
Oh, hang on, I'm not done with the GOI question, sorry.
Okay.
I did like Aussie, what little we read of them. I at least like the version Tan showed me. I know where it was like a criticism of people who were like overdoing that, like, you know, gore meme thing. I thought that was an interesting take on that. Sorry, was that the next question from Lan?
Lan's question was, who's your least favorite SCP?
I don't have a least favorite SCP author. I don't, but I will say that I'm not a fan of sarcasm. I don't think it's stupid or anything. I understand why people like it. I get it. Don't worry. But like, I do feel like, for example, we read Allegata, right? Allegata is a fine article. I don't think it's bad by any means, but I just feel like people talk about it so fucking much for like what it is, and I'm sure it's like there's expanded universe around it. That's why people like it. I get that, but I just think it's like a little overrated. And I feel like whenever I say that, people who are really into sarcasm think I'm like talking shit, and it's like,
Allegata is not sarcasm.
Is it not? I feel like they're always associated.
Well, they're sort of associated. They're the same sort of sphere, but yeah, it mentions sarcasm, but it's not about sarcasm.
Right. But like, I'm just tired of hearing about Allegata, man. Everyone's always talking about Allegata goop. It's like, ugh. But I don't have like a least favorite author. I actually like
Allegata.
I actually like pretty much every author we've talked to. I don't think we've ever had an author on who was like, I hate
not that one, but
shut up. There was no one. Next question.
In chat right now, actually.
Baker says, I can never answer what is your favorite questions. I usually struggle with that too. Like anytime someone asks me my favorite band or movie, I'm just stumped.
Yeah, Allegata's more hanged king, as Daniel says in the chat. Mankapol says, Darnell, I remember you really liked that Allegata article. Fake ass reader.
No, I mean, I told you, I don't think it's a bad article. I said I'm just like retroactively sick of it with how much people talk about it. I literally just said I don't hate sarcasm, I don't hate Allegata. I'm tired of hearing about Allegata constantly.
Well, what Darnell knows how to do is eat hot chip and lie.
I'm not. Oh my god. People on the internet are crazy. They're like, but you said blah, 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 blah.
He hates it.
You can never have like a
There's no me view opinions on the internet. You love something or you hate it.
I know, it's so exhausting.
Faker.
So the next one was Snapdragon asks, when will you pay tribute to the Wanderer's Library again? I'd really like to do the Wanderer's Library again, because I'm gonna be real, and I'm not just saying this for the Rounder meme, I'm not saying this to insult the wiki, but we read a lot of wiki, and the wiki's great, but the thing I like about the Wanderer's Library is it's not so strict to a format. Like on the wiki, sure, you can do a tale, you can do a format screw, but like really, if you want the attention, you have to be the SCP article format, and you can only read that so many times, in my opinion, before it starts to feel a bit too formulaic to me, I guess. But I really like, what's cool about a Wanderer's Library is it's basically just tales, but they don't have to like force themselves into anything. Now, when you force yourself into constraints, that breeds creativity. I don't think that's a bad thing, and I've talked about that before in the early days of our podcast, but it feels like refreshing to read Wanderer's Library, and it's just like stories rather than like special containment procedures, SCP XXXX. You know what I mean? It's a nice break from it. So I'd like to do one soon, but I still think we should ultimately stay an SCP podcast, of course. Next question. Baker says, I can never answer what is your favorite questions. I usually struggle with that. I don't think it's a bad article. I like to do the Wanderer's Library again, because I'm just like retroactively sick of it with how much people talk about it. I Lan asks, who's your least favorite DSCP commenter? Probably...
You.
No, I was gonna say... Actually, I shouldn't say. That's too mean.
Say.
No, I'm not.
Say it.
No.
I'll
Daniel
say it.
Zackheim says Alagata is more hanged king. Alright. Banger Good Day says the ambassador of Alagata is from Adatum, the big Sarkic city. Quaker Bundle says I hate
Donald does not remember what you were talking about, I guarantee.
I don't know what you talk about. Oregon Stream says, what's your...
What state's that in?
Oregon Stream says, what's your favorite word? I actually don't know, but I really like words that are like, they come off the tongue really easy. You know what I mean? Like, I like a word where I can just say it and it's like I'm exhaling as I say it. Like, for example, like... I'm trying to think of a good word like that. I don't know. I can't think of any off the top of my head. But there are like certain words where it feels like they just ooze out of your mouth.
I like obscure words that like I don't have to use because there's like better words for it.
Fair. Quarry, don't cuss Ram in the chat.
Favorite groups of interest. I had this thing I was throwing down the ideas for Church of the Broken God like 2 years or something ago. It's gonna King Arthur mixed with the Broken God mythos. It's gonna be fucking epic.
Wait, what are you talking about?
King fucking Broken God King Arthur stuff.
Where's that at?
It doesn't exist yet. I might write it.
Oh god, the chat's going so fast. That would be really cool.
Not.
I remember when you were writing something about Guinevere, and then that never happened.
Yeah, that's where the idea came from.
Oh man. Oh, it's not chat going fast. It's because I went to the YouTube version of the chat to do something, and it's scrolling the entire chat of the stream because I haven't opened it up.
Chat going wild for real.
Because I was trying to remove... okay, thank you. Guari removed it. Never mind.
You're trying to remove Lan? Why?
No, Guari was like... Never mind. It's not worth it. So, what's next on the question list? I'm trying to dodge drama so hard. My favorite word...
Darnell, favorite SCP concepts?
Orchid says my favorite word is flochinosignif... I can't say that. Favorite SCP concept? Can you define, concept for me?
Fishing council.
What do you mean by concept, Banker? An article in theory?
I guess the idea of it, maybe.
Well, here's the thing. There's a ton of articles that I know I have loved the idea of and really enjoyed, but I don't remember them. They don't come to my mind. Things don't come to my mind like that. I have to be reminded of stuff we've done. Even if it's just a small reminder, it'll come back, but until then, I can't, just recall it. I remember, I think what I really, really liked conceptually, and I talk about this a lot, is Captain Kirby wrote a time-traveling one. I always forget the number.
I know what you mean.
And
I still in theory.
And I think the thing about time travel is it's a trope that's done a lot, and it's really hard to do well. But when you do it well, it's amazing. And the two time travel things I like, the two time travel things I like, it used to just be Steins Gate, but now it's Steins Gate and that SCP Captain Kirby wrote. I like them both a lot. I think that was probably one of the most creative and enjoyable and just heart-wrenching and just great stories on the wiki. And it actually used the foundation format in a way that was interesting beyond just going to the next page. It really felt like I made the most of that format, and I loved it. It was just really cool. I liked it a lot. I can't stop gushing about it. It's probably one of my favorite SCPs. Real Sir says, you should join the VC one of these days. I always forget it exists. Yeah, you should. Usually around noon to 2 or 3 p.m. CDT.
I do need the community's help with something here, because they keep gathering these vermin for a little finding SCP thing. I need someone to go in there and break it up every now and then.
No, but every day, pretty much from noon to 3 p.m. CDT, there's a bunch of people in the chat that play Gartic Phone and Jackbox. I'm almost never there anymore because, like, sadly, I have to record on the weekends at those times, and then the weekdays I'm at work, but it's a great time, great people. It's like Corgo, Orchid, Guare, Crowcat, Ross, Quaker, and some others come in and out. Good group of people. Captain Kirby is such a good writer. I totally agree, Quaker. Daniel Zackheim says, do you think the modern wiki is too wacky, or do you prefer when the wiki was more mysterious? I do not think the modern wiki is too wacky. In fact, I think it's the other way around. I think in the past wiki, they were a lot more willing to be fucky-wucky, and in the modern wiki for a while, not anymore, but for a while I felt like it took itself a little too seriously. But like nowadays I feel like it's bringing back the wackiness in a good way. Because I think there's a really fine balance. I don't think you could be too serious. I mean, I think you can be a little too serious or too wacky. I think you need to have a mix of, like, that mystery and intrigue and fun and that mix of wackiness. As for the lack of mystery, I think that's just the nature of iterative fiction, right? Like, when SCP was first happening, people were basically, not improving, but, like, how do I describe it?
No, yeah, I'd say improv.
Yeah, like, if you've ever played a tabletop, you build a world with your players, right? Tan will remember this when we did D&D, where we slowly made up things, and it was like that. And then after they existed, we expanded on them. So that's what happened with SCP. The first few waves...
Bird Boy's entire character was just improv.
Exactly. So SCP, the reason there was a mystery is because things are being introduced. That we don't understand fully. But now that there's so much SCP and we're expanding on it, it's not as mysterious because we're building on the knowledge of other things we already know and expanding on concepts in the universe. So sure, you lose that mystery, but I don't think that makes it worse. I think it's fair to say you like the earlier SCP experience more when you were first getting into it, because I understand, like, when we first started the podcast, like, the wonder of all these new things, but I don't think the wiki is, like, worse by any means, and I think there's not, like, really a way to preserve that mystery beyond just, like, you know, so much has been explored already. I think that's just the nature of when you have something and then you just keep building on it. That's just how that works. And I think both are good. And I think it's really nice to see more, like, wacky, like, not immediately, like, end of the world scenario SCPs coming around again. I think that's cool. Sorry, I kind of rambled for a bit there. Quaker Butno says, I think people on the wiki actually understand how to do comedy now. I agree.
No, comedy is when the scientists do the funny thing, and then the O5 comes at the end of the note like, oh, get back to work, you jokers!
Yeah, it's, like, so cringe. I will say this, though. There is one very good early on comedy article, and that's Darkblade. That was fucking hilarious. I love it.
Yeah.
That was a great joke. That is iconic. But yeah, like, people always say list of things Dr. Bright can't do, and not only do I already hate, like, SCPOCs, but, like, I've never even read it, and just the title makes me, like, roll my eyes, you know what I mean? Like, okay, oh, the things that you shouldn't do at the Foundation, or whatever. I don't know. But then again, I'm literally judging something before I've even read it, judging a book by its cover. What do you think, Tan? Have you read it?
No.
Yeah, see, no one cares. I do think that people allow themselves to be more wacky and freeform in modern SCP than before, because I think in early SCP,
there's less
rigid with structure.
Early SCP, you would just not be allowed to do some of the stuff you can do now.
Yeah.
People are like, no.
And an example of that, I think, is When Day Breaks, right? Because Locke mentioned that they wanted to make it for a 1,000 contest, but this was before the age where everyone just wrote tales and SCPs, but they did it in the addendum. So they're like, no, this is a tale, you can't do that. So they made an 001 instead, which, I mean, it's a great 001. I think it's iconic, but I think that's really sad. And I'm not saying, you know, like, oh, the old wiki was all full of assholes. Like, it was just a different place. But I wonder how many other missed opportunities there were like that, where someone wanted to do something creative and someone was like, no, you're not sticking to the format hard enough. When the whole point of the format is to breed the creativity to begin with, and, like, the alternate uses. So I think that was a little sad. Like, I just the idea of that instance makes me sad about potential other instances like that, if that makes sense.
So I'm humming to music that I'm listening to that isn't on the stream.
You say Bright is one of those old characters no one likes, Quaker, but no one ever shuts the fuck up about him in SCP communities. I'll be real, I hate, like, SCP OC doctors. I don't mind if you make an OC, but the ones I'm talking about is, like, where they were literally just the writer.
Originals.
Yeah, where it's like, I'm the writer and also my character is me. You know what I mean? The only exception to this is Dr. Gears, because I think Dr. Gears was charming enough and he held back enough to pull it off. Like, you know, Dr. Gears wasn't the star of the show in Dr. Gears SCPs and Tales. He was just
Dr. Gears is a very good supporting character.
Whereas I feel like Clef and Bright are like, I'm the main character. You know what I mean? And you know, some people like that.
I'm not
that's
a huge
fine.
fan of the Clef, Bright, and Draki sort of triad.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that stuff. I think it's a little cheesy. I think it goes kind of against the nature of the format as a whole.
Very tuny, but not in a good way.
Because a lot of SCP for me, I think the magic of it is the world building, right? And that's what drew people in. There was that weird 173 on 4chan or whatever, and everyone's like, this format is intriguing. This world it hints at. And that's when SCP is at its best, I think, when it's building up a world with all these complex factions and strange anomalies we don't understand. So when you just turn it into like a YA novel with like a main character doctor, it just kind of, I feel like, takes away what's special about it to me. And that's not to say you can't have characters that are integral to an article. Like, for example, in Captain Kirby's Time thing, it revolves heavily around Dr. Gupta, and I'm trying to remember the other lady's name. But it doesn't feel like they're like the main. It's just like it focuses on their story specifically. It doesn't feel like they're the main characters of SCP. You know what I mean? It just feels like it's a little snapshot of people's lives.
When Clef comes in, it's like, I got my shotgun, I got my strange powers. It's like,
yeah, it's like, whatever, dude.
Clef.
Look, if I wanted to read something chuny that was good, I would read Aetheral Space on RoyalRoad.com.
Hell yes.
Leave a review.
Me too.
But yeah, that's not to put down anyone who enjoys or writes for those authors. I don't want to be like a shithead about it, but that's definitely like my one pet peeve is I don't really like those kinds of articles personally. Lance says, okay, I'm gonna go. I'm watching the new Top Gun. Bye, people. I heard the new Top Gun was pretty good, actually. I haven't seen it, though.
Yeah, I've never watched any of them.
Banger Paul says, Locke was allowed to. They just said it felt more like an 0-1, so Locke just put there. That's not how I remember it, but perhaps I'm insane pilled. Bunny comedy about Clef and a sarcastic heart. Sound like something dirty.
Don't be so sarcastic.
Corgo says, I miss Dr. Wrights, man. Sad BB emoji. Who's Dr. Wrights?
There was another one of the posse. I'm not that familiar with Dr. Wrights.
You know who I like? You know who was a good character?
Who?
What was that stupid butler where you rang a bell and he was like, you called, sir?
Mr. Deeds.
Yeah!
Oh, yeah.
I like him because he's so dumb, but like in a cute, funny way. He's just like, ooh, I'll serve you. And like, I don't know, I really liked him. I think also because they didn't go like super gory or dark with it.
Oh, that reminds me, I need to get back to my fucking Black Queen series that I haven't like written. The next chapter in like a year. Probably more than a year at this point.
I've heard many things about Black Queen. When are we gonna read that, Tan? Question mark. I love how we said we were gonna take like a 5-minute break and it's been like almost 20 minutes just vibing.
I'm chilling, I'm having fun.
Me too. How are you guys feeling? Do you want us to get back to the drafts or just keep like chatting and hanging out? Let us know in the chat.
I will, I promise. I will.
Corgo says she was like the hot woman with family, but also had like a list of things she could put in her office. Crocat says Dr.
I actually have had like the next chapter blackened in my sandbox for like a year.
Wait, is it Blackened or Black Queen, or are those two different things?
It's my like tale series about Blackened.
When are we gonna? I don't even know what Black Queen is yet. When are you gonna introduce me? The only thing I know about Black Queen is that one article I read that was like a meme on Milk Jesus that was like in a Black Queen format, I think. Unless
we'll do it next episode. You know what? I had no idea what we're going to do next episode. We're going to do Black Queen.
Yeah. No. What do you mean you don't know what you were doing? You always had it planned. Smile.
Yes. Yeah.
Orchid Stream says these dudes would thrive in just chatting. OMG, thank you for the donation, Orchid. Yeah, what we would do is I would do just chatting. I would go full Twitch with that. I'd get in my swim trunks and do camera of me just sitting in the hot tub and do a hot tub stream with it. Oh, that'd be so funny. And then just put Dan up as a VTuber. Cursed fat white boy in the hot tub stream.
Welcome to Writerbot Summer.
Quaker Button though says, I like Black Queen Milk Jesus more than Milk Jesus. I did too, actually. I'm down with that. There's multiple of her, and she sure is Queenie, says Snapdragon. Cole says, I don't care either way. This is fun. Agi says, next episode's clear the Agi episode. When is the Agi episode? You tell me. Tanhoney casually making up podcast ideas last minute. Corgo says, Darnell Hot Tub AO. You do not want that. Trust me. Kogat says, I kind of want to hear about my draft, but it's fine if you don't. Oh, you know what? That's fair. You know, this is what... It was about the community. Let's get back to the drafts. Do you want to just leave the melted ice cream draft for now and move down the list, Tan?
Yeah.
Best. I like what you had so far, melted ice cream. I'm sorry we didn't crit the whole thing, but I did warn that if it was a really long one, we might not read the whole thing, so I did leave myself a clause in there for that, so I feel safe to X out. I'm sorry. Next, we have JTKC. JTKC. I always frick it up. JTKC. Okay. Pop this sucker open.
Take a look.
Oh, this is a... Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
A little bit spag, but that's okay.
Alright, you want to read this one?
Sure. Item number. SCP Containment Class Euclid. Destruction Class VLAN. Risk Class Warning. Special Containment Procedures. Known areas of wild instances of the SCP are to be denied public access of cover story 14C-2, Poisonous Swamp Gas. Captured instances to be contained in reinforced anomalous containment habitats for a large water basin, which should be cleaned and refilled weekly. A little thing here. Failed to do so may result in the destruction of the containment chamber and possibly the site. I probably would not have that, but no, that seems important.
Yeah.
No flammable and/or explosive materials be allowed within the containment chamber outside of testing purposes. Personnel should wear flameproof and protective clothing when interacting with the SCP.
One thing I would say is, like Tanoni said, get rid of the footnote, make that a sentence. Then after that sentence, put a paragraph and then make a new paragraph for no flammable and/or onward. You know what I mean? Like split that into 2 blocks. That's my recommendation, just for readability.
Quaker, just listen to today's episode while you're watching this. Just do it at the same time. Description.
Yeah.
The SCP is a species native to blank, with small flocks present in the blank marshlands of Florida. If these are birds... Oh, sorry, I thought they were birds there, so let me just continue. Well, flocks implies birds to me.
Yeah.
They are amphibious creatures that are similar size and shape to a human eyeball, with a single orifice where the human pupil would be, and a tail resembling the optic nerve to aid in locomotion underwater. This could imply the existence of fresh liquid water on blank. Forward this to the relevant team's senior research. Or is that another planet native to, Mercury or some shit?
Yeah.
It's Saturn, maybe. It's a strong image. SCP instances, don't capitalize instances there, are required to moisturize the outer body, otherwise the outer layer of the body will dry and begin to crack after about 3 days. I would say moisturize the outer body, otherwise it will dry and begin to crack after about 3 days.
Wait.
The obvious anomalous properties include the ability to levitate and via concentrated blasts of plasma from its orifice.
Whoa! This guy's strong. Aye. He's so fast.
It was noted to release plasma of higher temperature depending on stress level. The most notable anomalous property of the SCP is a sustained process of nuclear fusion, contained within each instance through unknown means without energy.
Bros, we solved green energy. We just need 5 of these in a tub. We're done.
This is theorized to be the main source of all of anomalous properties present in the SCP instances. They're able to feed on plasma, ambient heat, and gas to replenish the nuclear fusion reaction after releasing plasma.
Well, here's what's giving me confusion, right? Is it anomalous if we understand how it functions? Or is it saying that it's anomalously nuclear fusion? Because, I thought the idea is it's anomalous if it can't be scientifically explained, but if it has nuclear fusion in the body, and thus that is why it does
normal and anomalous is sort of arbitrary.
Right. Okay.
If nuclear eyeballs are going to freak people out, nuclear eyeballs are now anomalous, even if we know how they work.
That's fair.
But given a stable rate of fusion and release of energy from the system, it's calculated to last from 20 to 50 times 10 over 3 years. That's a lot of years.
That's 50
it's
times
almost my
10 to the
lifespan.
third power years, so that's 50 times 1,000, so that'd be 50,000 years. No, wait, 50 times 1,000 would be more than that. It would be... Hold on, I'm stupid. No, it's 50,000. 50,000 years.
Nice. Addendum 1, Incident-A report. After medical staff restrained and performed the opening incision, the SCP instance released large amounts of heat and energy in excess of 3 times 10 over 4 joules.
No,
This
not
resulted
10
in
over 4 joules, 10 to the 4th power joules.
That's what I said, Smile.
You said 10
This
over
resulted
4
in immediate-
joules, that's like a fraction.
Have you been taking your pills, dude?
This dude sucks at math.
I'm sorry, let me put on my nerd glasses. Like, I gotta do some math.
Fucking Tanhoney. You can tell he definitely went to school for English.
This resulted in the immediate destruction of the western block of the site and the death of 5 on-site personnel. Unfortunately, Darnell wasn't one of them.
I say that, I make fun of you for that, but you're probably like actually smarter than me at things that matter. I just know dumb stuff.
Note: my heart and blessings go out to the staff lost in this incident. Thoughts and prayers. Based on Incident B, breaching the outer shell of the SCP instances is deemed an inefficient method of extracting energy from said instances. Not only due to the safety concerns, but the resources needed to harness energy in such an explosive manner would be a waste of Foundation resources. It would be like to produce energy from a nuclear bomb rather than a nuclear power plant. More testing is required, and containment procedures to be updated soon.
I'm actually surprised that that's not a footnote, but the very important failure to do so will destroy the containment chamber is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I feel like even though that's a little big, you could make that whole thing a footnote.
Addendum 2. Project Eyes for the Future request approval. Resources and funding will be provided for Project Eyes for the Future per approval by OVAD Council, with the goal of finding a renewable energy source through the study of the SCP. Given the potential, listed below is the project leading staff. I feel like you might not have finished the sentence there. Senior researcher Benjamin Oach, project lead specializing in nuclear physics and electrical engineering. Researcher Kathy Chong, assistant project lead, specialized cryptozoology. Agent James Taylor, security IC trained in aminal.
Why does James Taylor sound familiar? Is he like a recurring character?
It's the most. It's a very. Well, I don't know. It's a very simple.
I guess it's like
common name. I would think
it's the second most common name to John Smith. This James Taylor.
James Taylor, Doctor Who disguise, looking at us.
All right. We need to come up
Can I pass
with a
these
way
experiment
of
logs to you?
doing these super scientific, blocky form things.
Yeah, these are difficult to do in an audio format.
Yeah, and by difficult, I mean they exhaust my brain. Okay, let's do this. We'll popcorn each experiment off. Experiment 1. A juvenile should be E after the V. Juvenile, right, Tan? Or am I saying?
Mm-hmm. Let me have a look. Yeah, juvenile is G-U-V-E-N-I-L-E.
Yes, okay. A juvenile instance of the SCP, hereby referred to as -1, 16 grams compressed carbon dioxide gas canister. Test: 16 grams of carbon dioxide gas released into the chamber by Agent Taylor. Results: no effect, change in behavior. While the SCP instances were observed to consume swamp gas in the wild, nothing has happened in this test. We can conclude that the consumed gas must have some kind of explosive yield. Yield, you mixed up the E and the I. Make sure you switch those around. Senior Researcher Oach. Experiment 2, Tan?
2. SCP-1, 16 grams compressed methane gas canister.
Methane.
Methane. Shut the fuck up.
Oh,
16 grams of methane gas released into the chamber by Agent Taylor.
Damn. Tan.
Results: -1 consumed the gas and released a blast of plasma that killed Darnell instantly.
I'm just imagining
Measured it.
Tan growing up, you're like a baby in the high chair and your parents are like, here comes the plane, and you're like, shut the fuck up. Those were your first words.
You're making a fool of yourself.
Enough of this, father.
It's like, so be it. Start floating.
Oh my god.
Measured at 4,000 joules lasting 2 seconds. Notes: our previous hypothesis proved correct. The focus should now be to look for ways to increase the energy yield. Yield is ironing to be
You'll need to fix your yields on some of these. Alright. Experiment 3. -1, 16 grams of compressed hydrogen gas canister. Test 16 grams of hydrogen gas released into the chamber by Agent Taylor.
It's hydrogen, actually.
It's hydrogen. Results. Yeah. Dash 1 consumed the gas at a slower pace and released a blast of plasma measured at 6,000 joules, lasting 2 seconds. Notes. Different gases do in fact affect the level of energy release. What factors in the gas composition affects the yield is yet to be tested. This is an extremely scientific article, which I am somewhat here for, but I wonder if this will turn readers off a bit, because it's like a little bit too much, you know what I mean? Curiously, the fact that Dash 1 finished consuming the gas slower could imply that SCP instances have a preference for gas or possibly a sense of taste. I would just put or possibly a sense of taste, not or possibly a sense. Tests relating to the level of sentience might be required. Methane gas seems to be its preferred fuel, so I believe we should use it as the standard moving forward, unless testing the effects of other gases. Okay. Experiment. Oh, that's you now.
Oh, yes.
Do you just want to skip the rest of these?
Maybe. I'm sorry, guys.
I mean, basically, just look for spag errors. These are all pretty standard. Basically, different gases, more gas, bigger explosion is what I'm getting here. All right. So we have an incident report here.
Agent Taylor attempted to access the containment habitat of Dash 1 without permission, before it was reported to site security by researcher Chung. Further review of security footage has revealed that Agent Taylor had been entering the habitat of the SCP regularly, with small canisters of methane gas, feeding it to SCP-1. Agent Taylor was charged with unauthorized entry, suspended for 1 month. The Tanani animatronic is beginning to break down.
Making the Five Nights at Freddy's sound. I love what you do. Can you do it one more time? Can you do it again? Hello? Did we lose him? Can Honey Bro? He did it so far from the mic. That was good though. Alright. I'll stop bothering you. Where were we at again?
Researcher Chung reported that Dash 1 had entered a docile state and had become unresponsive 1 week following Agent Taylor's suspension and should be excused from testing and kept under observation by Researcher Chung for the foreseeable future.
Damn.
Not good, Taylor. Addendum 4. Experiment logs continued. Testing logs involving Dash 2 through 273 expunged for brevity.
Based.
There you go.
I will say, you said 2 through 273 expunged, but how come this is 262 then? That's before 273. Gotta change those numbers.
Who gives a fuck?
I do. It's consistency. Keep
exactly. Who are you?
This should be 274 or something. Experiment 262. Materials, SCP-274, 200 grams of compressed mixture of blank percent hydrogen gas, redacted percent of hexane, and redacted. See, this is the one time I feel like redacteds are actually meaningful, because like if this is going to create an insane result, of course they would blank out how to make the bomb. Test 200 grams.
And also because I presume we do not know how to make a bomb.
Yeah. 200 grams of gas mixture released directly into the pupil of S-274 by Handler Schmidt. Results, 274 consumed the gas and released a blast of plasma measured at 50,000 joules, lasting 9 seconds before ceasing to levitate and resuscitating after 5 minutes following medical examination. After rigorous testing, I believe we have done it. This seems to be the optimum output of energy with a mortality rate of only 20%. At the current rate of artificial breeding efforts, we have a potent but sustainable and renewable energy source for the Foundation and possibly the world. You just have to sacrifice these freaky eye things. The fact that we are literally harnessing the power of living stars cannot be understated. Most of the high-maintenance projects within the Foundation require so much energy that we have resorted to interdimensional thaumaturgic and even fictional energy. The project that I have led could leave a massive impact on the Foundation's researchers and costs. I do too, because this is always something I'm complaining about. Is how the fuck does the Foundation pay for all this shit? So I always love articles that give context to that, you know? I really like this so far, JTKC.
I just love the idea of fictional energy, because that's pandering to me.
Yeah. Fictional energy. I assume it has something to do with pataphysics.
Yeah, it's just like the idea of fiction, there's energy in the story. Let's just get that.
Yeah. All right, keep going.
Instance C video log. Date 0406-2024. Note, 8 days after Agent Taylor's suspension at 01:46 hours, the automatic containment breach alarm system was activated near the SCP containment area. The following is a transcript of the C footage. Begin log. 01:45:05. Agent Taylor exits his resting quarters and makes his way to the SCP containment area. Then, he attempts to use 2 E-cards to access the chamber. I've got fun here. This marker shows that he uses his own E-card from then researcher Chong's, but is unsuccessful. Next, a red glow is seen from Taylor's left eye. Oh no! They replaced one of his eyes!
He's like reverse Sans.
But that's fucked up because one of them replaced one of his eyes.
I know, but do you see how cool that is? Because they even mention their eye size, but then we don't think about it because there's so much science shit. But then they catch us off guard with that. That's really good.
Followed by a blast of plasma originating from his left eye, similar to those of SCP-XXX. This destroys a locking mechanism for the chamber, allowing him access to it.
Oh, he's viewing his fellow aliens.
At this point, the alarm is triggered, and site security is alerted to the containment breach. Using canisters of methane gas, sealers all the instances across the hall away from oncoming site security. He's herding these eyeballs. Come on, guys, we gotta get out of here!
Oh, God.
Agent Taylor stops outside researcher Chong's office where she is waiting outside.
Wait a minute, this is also Dash C. We don't have a Dash A or Dash B. Does this imply this happened to 2 other people before, but we didn't see the logs?
Oh. Taylor fires another blast of plasma at the camera, which ends the video feed. From security eyewitnesses, researcher Chong and Agent Taylor enter the office with all into the SCP, save for Dash 1, which is still unresponsive and is exposed in the observation chamber.
Oh, man. Former researcher Chong's office was then breached, but site security did not find Agent Taylor, researcher Chong, or any of the SCP instances. The post-incident investigation confirmed that a way within her office was used to escape. Upon further investigation, the creature presumed to be Dash-1 was in fact a non-anomalous human eyeball, with DNA testing confirming that it belongs to Agent Taylor! That's cool.
We do a little trolling here in the Foundation.
That's actually so fucking cool. How we had managed to swap out SCP-1 and surgically remove his eyeball is still currently under investigation. It was revealed during the post-incident investigation on researcher Chung's hard drive that senior researcher Och had omitted most of researcher Chung's notes and other information that would have indicated a higher level of sapience. It is presumed that he did this to sway the opinion of the ethics committee and increase the likelihood of the project's approval. The results of senior researcher Och's trial are ongoing. Notes for critters. Should I have more logs to build up the relationship between Taylor and Billy? Who? Is Billy Chong? I don't know. I don't think so. Because I get you're implying there was something between them, but that's not the cool part of the article. Forgive me for saying
maybe we missed something.
No, there is no Billy. Look, because it's researcher Casey Chong. There is no Billy in this whole SCP.
Let me control F Billy. Did I miss a Billy?
No. Oh, yes.
No,
he's the name of the eyeball that took over.
We skipped, like, fucking heads, and then we're you didn't mention this, actually.
This is our fault.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is one recommendation.
This to happen.
You have a little too many experiment logs. If you could cut out 2 of these experiment logs and make it 5 total, with 4 having the Billy eyeball, I think that would be the perfect amount. Because that's about how many we read before we were like, fuck, Dash 1 and named it Billy. I need not remind my staff that in the Foundation we encounter many dangerous creatures. I don't think you need to expand on their relationship, actually. I think that's fine. You could maybe mention one other time, like he tries to find Billy or something. But I think that was pretty good. I put quite a bit of thought into the background of the eyeball creatures. Do you think I need more info, or would that bloat the article too much, since I don't think it's the main focus? But world building, though? If you love the creatures and you put thought into them and you want to expand, I think the answer is obvious. I think you just write a tale prosing about these creatures, but you don't put that extraneous info in the article itself. You could always do it through the lens of, like, just simply getting...
I have an answer for the next question as well. Because I'm a non-linear fucking creature who's seeing the future.
What is it?
Well, the next question was going to be, is there a more elegant or scientific way of saying blast of plasma, because it feels a bit wrong? Emanation of plasma, maybe.
Yeah. Or emanates plasma.
Yeah. Projects plasma, even.
Or burst of plasma. This is one a lot of people don't know, but burst sounds slightly more scientific than blast. Burst of plasma.
I like projects.
Projecting plasma, projects plasma. Not really important, but if you have a better project title than Eyes for the Future, then it should always keep it a pun. Or I was gonna say eye on the prize, but it's not really a prize.
An eye on you.
I've got my eye on you. I've got my eye on you! That's it. I've got my eye on you. Do it. Put it in. Put it in, coach. Any general creative writing tips since my first creative piece since before secondary school? Honestly, if this is your first creative piece in secondary school, you did a fucking banger job. I would slightly go down in the science stuff. As much as I love the nerd shit, it's a little hard to read because from like an entertainment perspective, it's a little too much. I would cut that down to 4 or 5 logs. I would also double check. There were a couple spelling errors, not that bad, but a good way to catch those on your own is to read your work aloud. Everyone hears this, but no one actually does it. If you read your work aloud, you will almost always catch the errors in one go around. Also, another thing is, like, you mentioned world building. Feel free to write down the shit, even, like, on a notepad or in another place, because you can always use that later in a further tale or further article or just for another project creatively. Anytime you have an idea that you like but doesn't fit in your story, save that somewhere else, because you can use it later. Lastly, thanks for getting to the end of this. Hopefully it wasn't a chore to read. It absolutely was not. I'm sorry we skipped some of the experiment logs and missed crucial plot. That was the only part that was kind of laborious, but even then, I was just trying to do that to save brevity for the stream because we're trying to do shorter ones. I think, JT, this was...
But I'm rapidly wasting away.
Yeah, I'm giving this a good rating for sure.
Yeah, I also give it a good rating.
I love shit.
I'll be keeping an eye on this one, JTKC.
Yeah, please link it to us when it's fully out so we can upvote the fuck out of it. Alright. We've gotten through more than half of these, but I am also... I love how I made fun of you. I was like, Tan's gonna get tired and want to go to bed.
Yeah, it's always like, Tanny's gonna have to go.
Now I'm tired. I'm, like, exhausted from all this reading. Crow Cat really want us to read his, but I don't want to skip the line, you know? That feels wrong, but, like, I don't know. I don't know if I can do 4 more, bros. Are you putting him further up in line?
I'm just looking at...
How do you feel?
A little break.
Another break?
Maybe we just recover our energy.
Another intermission. Alright, let's see if anyone's got questions. Let's go back. Where's the lo-fi I linked you earlier? Let's put that back on. Tonight. By the way, Corgo sent me a really adorable art, and it made my heart grow 3 sizes like the Grinch.
Show me.
I will in a second. Hang on. I'm actually gonna use this so I don't open up a raw Google tab, so I can put in the... I'll send it to you, and then you can decide if it should go on the stream. It was just really cute. Save image. I love the lo-fi music, bros. Oh, I saved it as like a file. Damn it. Hang on. Oh, I'll just link you the image link. Oh, here it is. Well, it's on the stream now anyway. Here you go. Very, very cute.
Nice.
It was so sweet. Because they had to go sleepy. Yeah, we're dirty article skippers. I'm sorry, guys. But to be fair, we did say if it's long, we might skip around to save time because we want to try to hit all or as many articles as possible, but you know. Real Surreal Sir says, for what it's worth, mine is only like 1,600 words based. Okay, let's see. Isn't James Taylor a musician? I'd bet James Taylor has several musicians. I before E except after C, or when sounding like A as in neighbor or way. Crowcat's a fan, same. Daniel says, normal foundation experiments are just throw a D class in and see how they die. I mean, maybe early on, but I don't know that much anymore.
Yeah.
Actually says, don't... 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 She says...
You okay?
I can't say.
What's up?
It's not even that funny. Angie says... In regards to the one we just read, because remember the methane gas? It was Angie said... It's the way they typed it. It's so funny. Don't... Fuck. Don't fart in SCP containment. Gone wrong? Oh my God. Don't fart in SCP containment. Gone wrong? Because farting is methane gas, like what they...
Yeah, I was trying to make you break down again.
Fuck me. That got me. This reads like a kind of thing that one of the admonition articles would link to. What's an admonition article?
Oh, we'll get to that in the far future, probably.
Crowcat in response to fictional energy says mining for coal in Little Red Riding Hood. Oh, that's funny. I guess Chaos Theory is kind of about a narrative reactor, says Quaker Button Nose. Real Surreal Sir says, if you want to keep it in a similar clinical or institutional way, you could always do a supplement. Croquette says, yeah, it's very good. Adji says, you could always do the people who are present in chat. Penguin says, time for a surprise Banker Paul draft. Frick you, Banker Paul. Daniel says, if you could main an SCP in a 2D fighting game, who would you main? I would main, this is easy, Abel. I think Abel's cool. I know it's like a basic bitch answer, but I would pull off hella combos with Abel. What about you, Tin?
Yeah. I would punch and kick him until he died.
Wait, no, it's which one would you main?
Oh, me.
You're not an SCP yet.
What?
That's the most self-indulgent
thing
thing an author could do. Write themselves in I just realized that's what, like, Brighton...
Yeah, it's been done many a time.
That's the Tanhoney SCP. If you could main... Yeah, it's like so self-indulgent.
Building the perfect prison for me, and it still won't be enough.
Quaker Button says 128. Darbell. Are there any SCP concepts or stories you've heard about secondhand that you want to read? Many of them. Many, many, many. I always forget them, though. One of them I brought up earlier is, like, Black Queen.
He's
like,
lying.
I keep hearing
he
people...
SCP.
I keep hearing
just because he's contracted.
I keep hearing people talk about, like, Black Queen. I want to know that. I've heard about Aces and Eights, and it's, like, cowboys, and that sounds cool to me. I've heard about, trying to think what else. A lot of times people will vaguely mention something. I'm like, that sounds cool. Can we do it, Tan? And he will go, maybe. We'll see. And then I never hear about it again. And then I forget it exists. Trying to think. What else? I don't know. Those are the only two I can think of. Rory says, I love Corgo's drawings. Me too. Hedgie says, I have no idea how long my skip is, but it's shorter than last time. I don't believe you. 66 so Yo-Yo says, just got here. Is Darnell alright? Crowcat says, say it, Darnell. Sorry, Hedge. Get better soon, Darnell. Lonlang! Whoa, what the fuck? Lonlang's here? I literally haven't seen Lonlang in like over a year. What the fuck? How you been? How you doing, dude? Quaker says there is an SCP fighting game, isn't there? Yeah, Tan and I tried to play it, but it was really wonky.
I fucking owned him.
Daniel Zackheim says he would main Hog Slice. That's a good pick. Actually, I lied. I wouldn't main Abel. I'd main Death Knife. Or whatever that guy was. The one Dune wrote that I really liked. Ugh. I'm so tired, guys. I just want to go roll up in a blanket with some food and just, like, fall asleep. I'm supposed to be meeting some friends, some IRL friends, to go get sushi tonight.
What kind of sushi are you gonna get? Fish? When is any other fucking kind?
Yeah, I don't know. I was probably gonna get like a dragon roll or something. I really like dragon rolls. Or something maybe with like crab or eel.
Dragons aren't real. Don't fucking lie.
I kill you. I shove chopsticks into your eye sockets. Go.
You think I'm the kind of thing that dies?
No, but you're the kind of thing that can be blinded.
Fuck you. I'm sick of pretending for the sake of this podcast, but you are a poisonous boy.
I don't know whether to be hurt or not.
What an insult. A poisonous boy.
Are you calling me toxic?
No, poisonous is different.
Poisonous when I'm consumed.
Yeah. I let the podcast take you in, and you've corrupted it.
Sag. You know what I really like? This is gonna sound weeby, but I swear. And I know it's not, like, supposed to be a good thing. It's not like it's my favorite thing, but I really like miso soup. I know it's just supposed to be, like, a palate cleanser for when you eat other stuff, but I just really like it. And it's always super cheap. Anytime you go to, like, a Japanese place, it's, like, less than $2 to get miso soup. And it's just nice. Any other miso soup chads out there?
This guy gets his fucking steak at a steakhouse and he goes, "Itadakimasu."
I do not do that. I remember, because people don't know this because I'm a Christian now, but I used to be very, very atheist. And when I was in middle school and I was a huge weeb, I said "itadakimasu" at dinner, and my mom smiled, and I was like, "What's up?" And she was like, I think that means I love God. And then I never said it again because I was so edgy. This is a real story that happened.
Too edgy to be a weeb.
Yeah.
Levels.
No, it's too edgy to possibly potentially say that, even though that's not what it meant.
you back then, if you played Elder, you'd be like, "Where's the science devouring serpent?"
I love Rykard. He's the only sane one in this fricked up world. I will join the Serpent King as family. Oh man.
Yeah.
Orchid says now I want sushi.
I'm the Serpent King as family. Together. We went an hour. The very good.
Themselves. You lost me at that. There's no such thing as gods, Rykard. Only mortals. Crowcat says, I think I like miso soup. It's been a while since I had it. She says, go to... Angie says, go to church and say "itadakimasu" before receiving communion.
You would be crucified then and there.
Angie got me twice. He's so funny, dude. Darnell's mom tricking him into not saying "itadakimasu" Pog. Yeah, that was an advanced tactic. I think she actually just thought it was a prayer
fucking
because,
got
like,
me as well.
lol, Doctor Who and Dan's recommend.
Yeah, I watch a lot of Doctor Who. I watched.
Oh, I forgot. This is
technically just today.
I forgot this is Tan's YouTube, so you're seeing all of his recommends. Sorry. A lot of Doctor Who. Doctor Who review part 11. What the fuck? And it's like an hour and a half. Clever Dick films.
Yeah, they keep recommending that to me. I've not watched it.
This dude has so much Doctor Who.
I do. I'm not lying. I watched 2 episodes of it today.
Nice. Hey, I watched like an episode of Buffy, so I feel you. That's like my Doctor Who right now.
This is fucked up. This guy will never watch Doctor Who.
I won't.
No, it's my only passion in life.
I watched it with you once, and we had a kind of good time, but I'm not a Doctor Who fan.
That's because you only watched the first 3. You didn't get to the best bit.
You have to watch 3 seasons before it gets good, don't you know that?
No, you just need to get to the empty child. That's like the best, one of the best ones. It's in series 1.
Guari says Adji is the funniest person here. True. Crowcat says Volcano Manor is my favorite part of VR. Based. Orchid says Adji best jokester. True. Daniel says I can't hear "itadakimasu" without thinking of Travis Touchdown. Adji says I just have no filter and say my intrusive thoughts as jokes. Same.
Buffy is American Doctor Who. This is true.
It is. Who said that though? Yeah,
Quaker.
It is true. I literally said it's my Doctor Who. Except it's not 40 freaking seasons, and I don't say time is a bunch of.
Yeah, because it's not got no staying power.
It's got definitely a staying power. I mean, I watched it because people wouldn't shut up about it in the circles I was in.
Not along the limb. The Empty Child is a good story. I wouldn't say it's the best one. The best one is Heaven Sent, obviously, but
Empty Child like, I love the grocery store arc in Doctor Who where he used his scrimbler.
It's not like you can't even. What do you mean? What are you talking about? You got like the Buffy episodes. It was like, oh, it's this week. We're gonna have a story all about how Buffy has to do a driving test and is a vampire.
I will say that is like probably my least favorite thing. There's like this recurring Buffy trope. I'm on season 2 that I do hate, where it's like she loves Angel or whatever, but she's always pissed off at him for no reason. Like literally, he'll be seen talking to another woman for 2 seconds, and then she'll like be so mad at him until the end of the episode.
Why is she like the one that's like going crazy and she's not the vampire?
I know, it's bizarre. Dude, I'm willing to admit Buffy is like, it's got its flaws. It's old. It's cheesy. It's produced by Joss Whedon, which is a huge negative. But I mean, I'm enjoying it. It's fun. It's also like allowed me to connect with millennials on a spiritual level, because anytime I bring it up to a millennial, they've always at least heard of it and seen it a little bit. So it's like a free conversation for my older coworkers. Can we please come back to articles? We were about to read my...
Guare.
This is how you know you're in the audience, like, hey, I want to see my article read on stream. We'll read your article, Guare. Adji says, I watched Doctor Who when I was in middle school. Now that I'm an adult, I moved on to better things, like animated shows for children.
You lost something vital to yourself. I'll tell you that's what happens.
Adji be like, we are the crystal gems. Oh man, I don't know. I had an era in college for a bit where I watched cartoons, and I did watch Infinity Train recently, which is good, but I can't like get into cartoons made for kids anymore. Like, I liked Gravity Falls. Gravity Falls was amazing, and I liked Infinity Train, but I feel like a lot of the other cartoons going on are like the ones that I watched that I liked before, or now I can't stand them. I think I've grown out of them a bit. Darnell, you're not a millennial. I'm apparently what's called a zillennial, because I was born like right on the bridge of a millennial and Gen Z. So I like think more like a millennial, but like I'm in the age group of other Gen Z people, if that makes sense. Because like I think the millennial cutoff is 96, and I was born in 98. And I have two older sisters too, so like they introduced me to a lot of shit they were into. But then I grew up, and then like the people that are in the circles online now, who are still in like high school or college, are definitely more firmly Gen Z. So it's a weird position. Banger Paul, Darnell is just a puppet for Tan to bully. Rude. Actually, it's the She-Ra reboot I'm binging right now. I actually love the She-Ra reboot. I totally forgot I watched that. That was really fun too. Crocat says, I think it might also be really late right now for Guari. That's a... this video, Quickabot says this is video like every Joss Whedon show is connected in the same universe, and literally every connection is each show having a different Men in Black / SCP style organization. I don't think that's a connection. I think he just likes that trope. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, that's a good point. Guari might be going to bed soon. Let's read Guari's, and then we can go back to break mode if you want, Tan. Alright, let me pause Low Fight and Pop Mix 2022. Well, Ray is next.
I'm regenerating. Darnell. Let's begin to read.
Yes. Just keep in mind, though, before you judge us, guys, it's really hard to read a bunch of articles in a row out loud. It strains the throat and the mind. So
I know, it's hard, guys. Come on, guys.
It's really hard to read in the comfort of my middle-class home on a computer in the stream. No, but okay.
Okay, let's go. Item number, SCP-XX. Object class Keta. Special containment procedures. Until a cure for the SCP is developed, parabiological Site-39 is to have minimal contact with the outside world.
Actually, small note, SCP-XXX is kind of like good speedrun tech, because do you really need XXXX? The only purpose of the X's is to search and replace them, so why not just do XX?
Yeah. Or just X.
No, because if you just do X, that'll bring up every X in a word, but no word has two X's in a row.
-1 instances detected to be surgically removed immediately. The extracted instances will afterwards be burnt. Site-39 efforts to be centered on researching a reliable method to cure the SCP. Once achieved, 2 instances will be kept cryogenically frozen to allow further study if needed.
Oh, this is a bio-SCP, boys. I just saw the first line of the script. I'm pogged.
And I'm in my element. SCP refers to a strand of RNA viruses able to create large tumorous masses, denominated -1, inside the body of infected humans, leading to death if not treated. -X's only morphological characteristic is the presence of a proteic capsid surrounding its RNA. The virus is lacking any other kind of outward envelope.
This is like Guari specifically constructed this to appeal to me, and Tan is so out of his zone.
-X is known to transmit through liquids, including those of bodily origins, like piss, as well as other currently unidentified methods. -1 is the
SCP-1 is the designation of a series of tumors.
You've got the is there, Guari. Of a series of tumors and organic foreign bodies, created as a result of the infection and found attached to pre-existing organs in the human body. As the immune system is unable to recognize the -1 instances, it will begin attacking the foreign mass. This is similar to the main mechanism behind transplant reactions, prioritizing it over the -X, and as such helping the proliferation of the virus and eventual creation of more -1 instances.
My only question is, so far, this sounds like nothing anomalous. This is like very much just like a
maybe we'll find out more.
Yeah.
This process, if not treated, invariably results in multi-system organ failure and subsequent death of the infected human.
Wait, do you think the twist of this is it's going to be like an Anomalous Plague Inc. game or something?
Maybe. Currently, the only effective treatment consists in the removal of -1 instances as soon as noticed, as it will result in the loss of the SCP's only defensive mechanism. Despite this, the surgery only succeeds in curing the infected in 30% of cases, and deaths as a result of the surgery is abnormally high, presumed to be a result of an unknown secondary ability of the SCP.
I just realized it needs those tumors to thrive. Is this a disease playing like tower defense in your body?
Oh my god.
It's playing. That's pretty good.
The SCP first gained Foundation knowledge following an outbreak occurring in Parabiological Site 39.
I like Parabiological, that's fucking dope.
Yeah. Managed to detect the infection before it could spread to other population centres and sites, but due to the unknown nature of the anomaly at the time, infections and casualties of on-site personnel...
I would put a comma after time here, just a minor grammar thing.
Infections and casualties of on-site personnel could not be averted. The origin point of the anomaly was traced back to an unused wing of the site. Attached as a summarised log of autopsies, realised... Yeah.
Or like SCP-XX patients, maybe. Open, summarized, close. Oh, wait. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is a lot of blocks of text. We can do it, Curtis. Okay. Infected individual. Junior researcher Sebastian Garrido. My throat's not wet enough to do the rules. Garrido. No, I couldn't do it. Sorry, every Spanish-speaking person out there. Botanical department. Symptoms prior to expiring. Abdominal pain, diarrhea, nausea, and dizziness. Cause of death, dehydration. Description of the extracted instance. An 8-meter-long tubular structure connected to the rectum and stomach, composed mainly by muscular and epithelial tissue. Ooh. Oh, I see how this is anomalous now. Ugh. In its interior, large quantities of fermented solid wastes were found, as well as multiple known species of non-anomalous bacteria, which were devouring the SCP-XX-1 instance. Infected individual, Zoe Laurent, administration. Symptoms prior to expiring, heavy breathing, hypotension, and a persistent feeling of tiredness. Cause of death, cardiorespiratory arrest. Description of the extracted instance, a large tumor located beneath the ribcage, the tumor was hollow. Okay, so I guess the anomalous is that these tumors take different functions to accomplish their goals. The tumor was hollow in its interior, with 4 chambers filled with blood being distinguishable. Later analysis determined the SCP-1 instance to be composed of round muscular cells. This dude, Guari did his motherfucking research, or he's like a bio major or something. I'm impressed. In fact, I love all the... This is like crack for me as a former bio major. I love it. Infected individual, senior researcher Altzabar Vasquez, zoological department. Symptoms prior to expiring, difficulties in the breathing process, and mild anemia. Cause of death, widespread coagulative necrosis as a result of low oxygen levels in the body. Description of the extracted instance, 2 sac-like organs, balls, of unequal size beneath the thoracic cavity, each divided into multiple lobular sections. A variety of tubular structures were located in the interior of the instances, though many of them were severely damaged, presumably due to the actions of the subject's immune system prior to expiring. So basically it like creates shit in your body, and then your body tries to fight it, but it's like a whole ass organ or like body part, so it can't really do such a great job of it. And these body parts exist solely to fuck you up further. Infected individual, Dr. Luis Sarmiento, medical wing. Symptoms prior to expiring, a feeling of tiredness, shortness of breath, and anemia. Cause of death, myelodysplastic syndrome. I don't know how to pronounce that. Myelodysplastic syndrome. A type of cancer resulting in the impossibility of maturation of blood cells. A description of the extracted instance, a semi-solidified conglomerate of multiple cells located in the victim's femur. Ooh. Infected individual, D-0552256. They went through a lot of guys. Symptoms prior to expiring. Intense and continued headache, seizures, vision and speech problems, and insomnia. Cause of death, post-surgery complications. Description of extracted instance. A large tumorous mass attached to the cerebellum composed mainly of white and gray matter. During the extraction surgery, part of the cerebellum was accidentally removed as well, presumed to be the reason for the subject's death. Following the initial outbreak of SCP-XX, a series of tests was conducted to better understand its effects, transmission, and the creation process of -1 instances. Results are outlined below. Yeah, because one thing they could do is, like, put, like an intravenous, like, dyed, like... There's a thing you can do, I don't know exactly how it works, where, like, you can color blood, and then you can follow that colored blood in the body and see what's going on, like, from inside with, like, some kind of technology. I'm trying to remember, because that's like how MRIs work, is they like put some shit in your body and then they trace that shit through your body in the MRI. I remember that they had to do that for me when I was all fucked up before. Following results are outlined below. Okay, can you read some of these? My throat hurts.
Absolutely. Species tested: lesser fruit fly. Percentage of shared DNA of humans, 60%. Results: no effects. Likewise, the infected subjects were unable to serve as a vector of transmission for the anomaly. African clawed frog, 80%. The SCP behaved as was expected from a non-anomalous virus of its type. In most cases, the subject's immune system was able to terminate the anomaly, as it failed to create instances for defense. Domestic pig. Sus domesticus. 98%. Initially, the subject's leukocytes were able to terminate the infection before the creation of that's what I said, of -1 instances was possible. As such, the pigs were administered significant amounts of antibiotics to weaken their immune system, and were subsequently reinfected with the SCP. Following this, creation of -1 instances was almost instantaneous, with Marie's failing to notice the moment of their appearance. What? That's what I said. The largest of these structures was 20 meters long, the subject dying some days after its removal.
This guy's like the Shakespeare of SCP. He can't read, but he can write. That was a literature joke.
Panpascus, 99%. Very similar to Darnell. Damn. Similar effects as in human subjects. Among the registered -1 instances included elongated calcium structures, bleeding bean-shaped tumours, Dr. Eggman's mean bean machine, and severely burnt sac-like structures containing hydrochloric acid. Laboratory rats. Rattus novagus domestica, 97.5%. The SCP did not produce any -1 instances while in the subject. However, the lymphocytes of the rat didn't attack the SCP. Attempts to force interaction between the test subject's white blood cells and the SCP were infructuous, as the leukocytes were simply unable to recognize the SCP as a threat.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what infructuous means. Help me out.
Well, I don't know. The SCP spread normally through the rat's bodies, resulting in death after several weeks of exposure. Direct human observation under microscope failed to notice the inflection of the subject's cell, though it was clearly visible in the recordings. The remains of the subject served as vectors of transmission for the virus and disappeared 3 days following the initial death.
Could you Google infructuous for me?
Why don't you? Okay.
Because I'm filming.
Infructuous. Infructuous meaning pointless or unnecessary.
Thank you.
And then popcorn.
Banker process the.
I feel like it's very obvious to everyone that I am now on 0.001% energy.
Banker process the 4 X's feel and look better. You're wrong. I like XX way more. Cabin in the Woods is testament to what? I don't think that's a connection. Captain, whatever. Too much to chat. Okay. Addendum. Status report. 12/12/2022. Oh, this is the future. Oh, we're fricked, bros. Results of the research into SCP-XX are currently inconclusive. No further information regarding its origins, the production of -1 instances, or any reliable cure has been obtained beyond what was already known. Furthermore, efficiency of the research team is sharply decreased, mainly being due to casualties, the appearance of a strong odor throughout the facility, and the disappearance of multiple test subjects, making continuing research on the anomaly all but impossible. However, the data obtained from the tests with rats may indicate that the anomaly may have perceptive or mimetic effects. As this line of research has currently not been undergone, it may be beneficial to focus our resources in this approach. That is so clever. Director Ana Jimenez. The previous document was discovered in an unused facility under Foundation ownership. No references to Parabiological Site 39, its personnel, or XX have been found in any Foundation database. In the interior of the building, multiple conglomerates of animal tissue and a rough humanoid shape were found. Further investigations will be carried out by the Anti-Mimetics Division. Author's note. I'd like to know if any of you feel like the skip is missing something or could benefit from cutting any part. Further, I'd be interested in knowing if by the end of the article it's clear or easily deducible enough that the virus had anti-mimetic properties that make the body or anyone else recognize their organs as such. I don't think that's clear, but that's cool. But I don't know if you need to make that clear. I will say this is really good. There's only a few minor spag errors, like putting in some commas here and there. I liked it, Guari, but I would give you 2 warnings. First, I'm rating it good, by the way. One warning is that it's a little heavy on bio knowledge. I could see someone having to Google a fuckload of words or like not having fun with it like I did. And 2, even though it's not related in any ways and is solely a disease SCP, I feel like there will be a group of people, and I might be wrong, but I feel like there will be a group of people who will be really mad, because of COVID, and they'll be like, oh great, disease SCPs during or after COVID or whatever. So, but if you're willing to put up with both those things, I think this is pretty freaking good. I don't know. What about you, Tan?
I think it's very good as well. A lot of the biology stuff is sort of lost on me, but it's a very good sense of verisimilitude.
You can verisimilitude?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I said.
Tan is out of it, and I don't blame him. We are like 3 hours deep.
There are sparks flying out of me.
Crowcat, I know you wanted us
to read
your
thing.
The
bite of 22 is about to happen.
I know you wanted us to read your thing, Crowcat, but I don't know if we're strong enough. How many have we read today? Let me count. 1, 2, 2.5 because of melted ice cream. 3. We skipped Asteria because it was adult. 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, 6.5, 7.5. We read 8.5 SCPs.
It's like 4 episodes of Discovering SCP.
Yeah, man, I'm tired.
Come on, guys, uncuff me.
Would you let us all rest and just end the stream on a quick chat with you guys, break questions, and then we're done, or will you?
Well, I don't care if they're gonna let me. That's what's gonna fucking happen.
Okay.
Sorry.
But yeah, that was really good, Guare. I'm gonna hit that music button, and we're just gonna chill. If you guys want to chat for a bit longer, ask some questions. I think we'll go maybe another 15 minutes tops, and then we'll call it here. Sorry to everyone whose articles we didn't get a chance to read. We worked through them as best we could and tried to cut when they got long. I don't know. Maybe we could try to do the other remaining 6 on a future stream. Tan, I don't want to promise that, though. How do you feel?
What?
I said maybe we could do the other remaining ones on a future stream, but I don't want to promise that. How do you feel?
I'm willing to tentatively say we can do that, but it does, of course, depend on availability. I cannot promise it, but I can...
Yeah, we'll say
if we do have a chance for a future stream, that was what it will be.
Yes. We did skip Havoc Moon for this today, and we were many, many weeks since the last Havoc Moon because of complications popping up, so I want to get back to that. Quaker Button says, sure. Oristream says, I thought it was clear enough that it was their own organs, but I don't know. Oh my god!
That
I just
see,
hit me.
I see,
that tube from the mouth, that was the intestinal tract.
Oh, that's very good.
I can't believe as a bio dude I missed that. That's really good! Corey, you're so, you're so creative, dude. That's really good. You're smart. The sacs were the lungs. Now it's all making sense. The empty muscle thing was a heart. Oh my god. That's so smart! So basically they were aware of their organs, thought those organs were tumors, and were removing their own organs. But then that gets confusing because they mentioned one of the tumors was on the cerebellum of the brain. And not the brain itself. Oh, was that maybe the skull?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. And that's why only 30% of people were surviving, because that was where the people getting non-vital organs removed. That's bizarre. You're so smart, dude. That's actually so good. Real Sir says, if not, could just do a VC or non-live written crit or something. Yeah, maybe. I don't want to leave anyone out. I feel bad we didn't get to you, Real, or to Crowcat. I'm sorry, but, you gotta understand, reading a bunch of stuff in a row is really taxing. especially when you're trying to think critically about it as you read too, and not just doing it for the fun of it. But we definitely appreciate everyone who sent in an article. Sincerely, you guys are the reason that we're able to keep making content. Honestly, it's really awesome. But you can see Tan is dead inside, so I'm gonna say I'm gonna give it like a couple more minutes for you guys to ask some questions, and then we're gonna probably fuck off for the night. Because I gotta eat, Tan's gotta sleep. You know how it is. I do feel bad that I spent so much time panicking in the beginning about trying to figure out where Cole's link was or something. Especially because, like, I think my coworker said he was gonna try listening to the VOD for this, and I wonder if that's gonna be, like, super awkward later. It's so weird that, like, it's cool, but it's kind of weird that, like, one of my coworkers is, like, gonna start watching the channel. It's like, I don't know if I should, like, be behaving differently now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Tan, you're so sleepy. You should go to bed, bro.
No.
We need to get 100% Tan back one of these days when he's like just the right amount of tired, like exactly 1 hour of sleep less than normal.
No, you only get 100% time when it's 1 hour of sleep, period.
Oh my god. We have to artificially engineer it in the lab. Crocat says Tan turning to sludge right now. The tumor was the brain itself, since the cerebellum is a distinct part. They cut one of them's heart. Maybe it was a non-cerebellum part of the brain. Thanks for the stream. It was fun, says Agi. Charge him, says Banker. Alright, I'm not seeing any questions, so I think we're gonna close now. I don't know why I'm yawning. It's only 4 p.m. where I live. You're the one who needs to like go to bed.
Time for the bite of 22. Come here.
Is it the bite of Tanny 7? Alright. Thank you guys for coming on. I'm gonna go get a nap. I'm sleepy as fuck.
I'm gonna get in Darnell's hot tub.
Yeah. Come join us. Smile.
I'm in your walls.
Alright. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.
I'll see you soon. Bye.
Stream